Hey guys, Dreams here again. This is gonna be what if Luffy was Rick Sanchez. If you guys don't know who Rick Sanchez is, I don't know what you do in your spare time, but he's basically a character from Rick and Morty. I consider him probably the main character. That's how interesting he is compared to Morty. But yeah. So basically, Rick's like I guess the main character, one of the main characters for the show Rick and Morty, and he's basically just a genius beyond belief, and technically God. So yeah. So say it, he is technically God, or is God. But yeah, so this one, Luffy is just going to be a genius beyond belief. So yeah, so in this one, Luffy being a genius beyond belief, eventually, by the time he's in like Kokugashi, not Kokugashi, but in Fushi Village, he meets Shanks, that goes the same way. Luffy isn't really as like easily pushed around by Higuma. Also, when Luffy's going to go in on me, he kind of guessed it was a weird fruit, but he in fact turned him into rubber. So when Higuma was trying to kidnap Luffy, Higuma tried that. Luffy basically swung his legs in the air and then stretched him, and they hit Higuma right in the face full force. Higuma being knocked to the ground when the bandits put the gun on Luffy's head, telling Luffy telling Luffy that he's going to die here if he doesn't go with them. Luffy just laughs, saying, "Fire it then." When he fired the bullet, as the bullet bounced right off him, hitting the bandit right in the forehead. Luffy sets his gun away, and he fires at all the bandits, yelling that guns aren't certain people. You're supposed to act with them, not threaten. And that's the difference between him and them. He's not threatening any of them, he's firing. And he ends up hitting a lot of bandits. Eventually Shanks returns hearing gunfire, he runs in the alley, seeing Luffy throw a gun to the side, and has the bandits on the ground unconscious or just dead. Luffy just yelled calling them cowards, and Luffy ended up scratching his forehead, saying, "Geez, that could have stung a bit." Lucky Roo, Ben Beckman, and Yasel, they all just laugh as they even run after the bandits just to beat them up themselves. So yeah. So with this, basically, Shanks would basically laugh, calling Luffy really cool. Also, this one, Luffy doesn't really have a scar under his eye. He's not that dumb. So, yeah. Obviously, he doesn't not put knives near his face. So, yeah. Pause. Alright, so eventually Shanks does leave, giving Luffy a straw hat, and Luffy would just take it. Eventually, 2 months later, he meets Garp. Garp knows that Luffy already has 2 different abilities, being basically just Gomu Gomu no Pistol and Gomu Gomu no Bazooka. Eventually, Garp would bring Luffy to meet Ace and Sabo. Not Sabo, but Ace. But Sabo tries to run away from Sabo. When Ace tries to run away from Luffy, he doesn't know that Luffy isn't following him, he does realize that Luffy isn't a typical little kid. Luffy honestly has no interest in Ace's existence. But yeah. So eventually he just goes around the bandits' camp looking around, and just calls all their stuff trashy. The bandits, this is the princess right at Luffy saying, "What did you say, you brat?" Luffy just said, "Pistol." With that, suddenly Luffy's pistol would just shoot right out, hit the bandit right in the face so fast that no one even saw him move. Luffy says, "So you guys are so untrained you can't even see my fist move." Bandit is even on the ground like Monger is like, "You can't be that strong, you didn't fall to the ground." He says, "Take a close look at his face." Everybody see a fist imprint, and the bandit's eyes are just white and he's shaking. Then someone kind of just tapped his shoulder and just fell to the ground, completely like crumbling. Someone clapped Luffy, only for Luffy to punch it into pieces and punch Dadan right across the face, telling her that she shouldn't hit a kid. This Luffy says, "From now on, I'm the bandits. Got it?" And they all look at Dadan, waiting for her to get up, but she doesn't even move an inch. Dr. and Monger being sit down, saying, "Yes, sir." Usually they woke up Dadan and the miscellaneous bandit. They sit up, this is bowing to Luffy, saying, "Yes, sir." Eventually, Luffy actually just was wandering around one day, as he basically had like a basic rifle with him. Suddenly a portal would open right next to him, and he snatched right into the portal. He's confused. He looks around, seeing what looks like adult him, and then some blue-haired guy. Some around his age, some are older. Luffy asks who they are, and this one of them says, "This council Luffy's, or the council Rick's." Well, they're not really a council, actually. We're kind of just people who hate the council and made our own, or kind of banded together. Now we don't see the original Rick from the Rick and Morty show there, but we do see some Ricks that I guess he's not hating on, so to say, like, well, he's okay with their existence. We see those kind of Ricks. Luffy kind of knows what they're doing. This one, like, they told Luffy that he's like the ultimate version of them. He's like a perfect combination of the strongest Rick, being the original Rick from the show, oh, plus evil Rick, evil Morty's and evil Rick's intelligence, plus canonical Rick's intelligence. But also, he has the perfect blend of Luffy's, the original Luffy from the manga that we have right now, and perfect blend of the genius Rickish Luffy. So they're here to basically make Luffy the ultimate Luffy. After the next 2 weeks, he trained under them, with all the stuff they came up with together. It literally only takes them like days to make Luffy on the level of a genius beyond belief. And the Mortys are able to help the Rick, and Luffy are able to help the Ricks know how to train them, as a kid at least. But the Ricks also teach them the most beneficial ways to train, and they also turn them into like the other ways to train the Luffy. By the time training's over, Luffy would emerge, and he's basically just, one, his IQ is shooting past 500. His IQ was already above 400 by the time he went into the portal. It was around 420. Yes, that's a 420 joke. But then Luffy by the time he leaves the whole portal and dimension thing, his IQ is spending to roughly around 800. So yeah, around 800 is his IQ. His physical body, now he actually, with how strong Luffy had gotten, his body's at its peak currently. Yes, he was already really strong as he punched as hard as a pistol, but now he punched as hard as a cannonball would hit. So, yeah. But then he's really good at really with swords, knives, daggers, anything. So with that, yeah. He's good with really any weapon you give him. But then, he's also good at a few martial arts, being boxing, Jeet Kune Do, wrestling, and professional wrestling, the WWE kind of wrestling. But then we'd have the basic wrestling where it's on the mat and everything, where you have to pick up and slam someone or put them in a lock, stuff like that. So yeah, but then some Luffy also teaches Luffy the gears of the Devil Fruit, teach him how to do it. But how smart he is, he's able to learn gears in just a few hours. But they do recommend he doesn't use it for such a small body. But they also give Luffy a ton of equipment, and Luffy basically have a whole basement. The band's tied out, telling them don't go in the basement unless he says so. Now, some of them try to disobey the rule, but the moment they try to open the door, it won't open. When Luffy comes out, they don't know how he gets in or out. It's basically the door will just open for him automatically. Luffy has technology that's thousands of years to millions of years in the making. He knows how to make most of that technology too, as he made most of it, or other Luffys and Ricks did. But yeah, he kind of just came back after 2 weeks, and no one really knows where he goes, but the bandits don't really care. Luffy began using this technology to actually make beneficial food to the bandits, and even give them even cooler food that's years ahead of them. So as they eat the food, they're pretty much impressed with it. As Luffy has artificial sweeteners, just processed sugar. He has a lot of things that the bandits would enjoy. Also gives them just guns that they could take over a kingdom with, but he tells them if they take over the kingdom without him telling them to, he'll kill them all. And then when the bandits take the new gun Luffy gave him, put it into Luffy's head, saying, I guarantee this will kill you. He goes, no, I wouldn't give you a weapon that will kill me. And suddenly he grabbed the gun, and suddenly in a second, the gun's disassembled. And Luffy squeezes on it, it just crumbles, and Luffy says, this is plastic, it's a fake gun. I just want to see what you do with it. Luffy doesn't have any real guns on tap from the 21st century with him, but he doesn't have any of those guns because he refused to give them to him. He does, he has them, but he won't give them to anyone. But yeah. So on top of being a good marksman, he's also really good sniper, marksman, and just a good swordsman. Yeah. That's just a sheer martial artist. Yes, eventually he does meet Ace as Luffy's in the Great Terminal. So Luffy's kind of wearing a lab coat, a red shirt, and then kind of just joggers and sandals. As he's walking around, he'd pick up just random things, put them in a sack, and he's walking away. Some bleed on crew members would grab Luffy by the shoulder. Ace wants to see what Luffy would do, because he didn't hear about the bandits being taken over by Luffy. Something like a Mikey, kind of just like Mikey from Tokyo Revengers. He does a very good roundhouse kick and just hits him. He's right in the temples hard that knocked him out. But when he landed, he lands on his feet, dashing towards other bleeding members who are about to pull out knives and guns. He's able to take all the bullets, just slapping them back to them. When the swords, he basically just grabbed them and broke the blades or spun them out of their hands. And then when he took, he cut them all down. And it's just to see how well Luffy takes on Blue Jump's crew with pretty much no effort. Also, this Luffy doesn't really have any morale against killing people who deserve it, and these guys definitely deserve it. He just spends his time cutting down the whole Blue Gem crew until eventually gets the Blue Gem himself, and Borchemi as well, but he lets them go. All of them are dead, but a few of them are knocked out. But yeah, so when it comes to Ace and Sabo, he would just talk to Ace. Sabo would ask Luffy what he's getting. He says, such as just build. Sabo actually had Luffy's materials, asking what he can build with these. So then Luffy ends up basically looking around, seeing a few kids. And Luffy does sympathize a bit, so he's still like coming up with Luffy a little bit, where he has a bit of sympathy. But he kind of just says, fine. There's a lot of material, so the kids gather around. Some of these hands kind of just like flare around randomly. No one kind of sees what he's doing until suddenly he would stop, and they see tons of toys made. The kids all run, picking up a toy for their own, and they begin playing with them. Sabo's jaw dropped as he picked up an action figure, realizing this is like a limited edition one. He yelled this, a lot of kids actually ran to the guards trying to sell their toys. And, well, they do just that. They get a lot of money for it, too. And Ace actually asked Luffy if he knew it was a limited edition. He says, no. All he knew is that the toy was in the catalog he saw. So he was built off memory. Then everyone asked Luffy build more. One of them even grabbed a gun pointing Luffy's head, saying, if you don't build more, I'll kill you. But pause real quick. But since it's over, well, the guy pointing a gun at Luffy just gets kicked in the face by Ace. And the guy's staying down. The guy does just that, just dropping his gun. Yeah, so with this, we usually move on to like Luffy heading back with his materials. And he's heading back to meet Nagari. He goes through a bit of Nagari's equipment, throwing out anything that'd be useless. When Nagari asks why Luffy's throwing it out, Luffy says, whatever you're building, probably a ship, this stuff is pretty much useless to it. Nagari brings Luffy to a ship, showing off the ship, and asks if anything Luffy threw away is useless. He says, yeah, a lot of it is. Luffy immediately ran to Nagari's ship, rebuilding and assembling some of it in pretty much seconds. By the time he's done, Nagari's ship is like just perfect in the way he needs it. Luffy then says that he bought a lot of unnecessary parts, and he could have been finished probably months ago. Now that Luffy took all the unnecessary materials, made building anything he wanted on the beach, and told Nagari to do whatever he wants. He's gonna use this place as like a hideout now. Luffy just walked to the bandit's hideout, and as he walked out of that room, he always has suddenly they hear like explosion behind the door, and the door would just suddenly burn away. They look down, seeing a giant cavern, questioning how Luffy made that in just 2 weeks. Luffy says, don't question him. In reality, it was a lot of TNT, like a lot of it, just a ton of it all at once. Like they're lucky he did not sink the island, but he's smart and knew a way to not sink it. But he basically made that whole like, cave that Nagari ship was in, and like his whole hideout, and kind of just stayed in there, giving God back to the whole bandit crew as he didn't want them anymore. So yeah. Eventually, by the time that Luffy like past going a bit to like Ace and Sabo hanging out there a little bit too, and Luffy even talked to him about how to probably wield a bow, well not a bow but a staff and everything. So yeah. So with this, we just move on a bit to so I guess when Sabo's parents did try to get him back. Also, Garp comes to like the hideout Luffy had, thinking that's pretty advanced, and he eventually moved Vegapunk, comparing his grandson to him. Vegapunk thought Garp was being modest, but no, he could tell that Garp was very much serious. Vegapunk eventually like just stunk on to go your terminal basically, and look at Luffy's hideout, really just acknowledge that Luffy's smarter than him. Like it just says out loud, this kid is smarter than me. This made Vegapunk chuckle. Luffy does question who Vegapunk is, as Vegapunk's wearing a giant mask, but Vegapunk just says that, oh, I'm a scientist. Then he tells Luffy about this island, telling Luffy that this giant machine there that he built is supposed to heat an entire island, but he was too young and naive to actually make it work. Luffy could probably make it work easily. Thought about it, saying, yeah, I'll think about it. Helping people isn't my thing. Scamming them, maybe. Now we go back to when Luffy made the toys. So these were from a catalog, and they look like limited edition version. But honestly, it was scrap metal. It would rust in days. So yeah, it was just a giant scam. Not enough for the villagers though. Well, for residents of your terminal though. Everyone else would be a scam. But as we go on Sabo's parents, trying to get him back. When Sabo would meet in the terminal, suddenly poor Timmy would grab Sabo. Sabo he grab Ace and Blue Jam grab Luffy. As Blue Jam approaching Luffy, Luffy tells him tells him like basically just don't touch me is instant death. And it's, oh yeah, I bet so. And when the Blue Jam touches Luffy, he's falling to the ground dead. And the reaction that everyone has, like when that random guard from like some of the President's Secret Service had touched Rick in the whole scene, kind of said that same exact reaction. Suddenly, Luffy just spun around, grabbing Blue Jam's gun, shooting at all the bandits, right? Not bandits, I mean all the guards right in the head, and even the rest of the Blue Jam crew that was newly assembled. Ace had beaten up pretending all by himself. He himself was dead. Luffy shot him in both of his legs and one of his arms, telling him just crawl away. He did just that, so he dropped Sabo. So yeah. So with this, we just move on to just like when Luffy's roughly around 12 years old. By the time he's 12, Ace and Sabo are both 15. And Luffy looks just like this, but he has black hair. Hideout he has not really did come back at least once to say like to see what Luffy did to it. Just sure Hideout was like basically just like evolved in some way. Yeah. Now he sees Ace is kind of sitting on like the striker that Luffy built for him. It runs on flames as Ace shows off his hand being struck into flames. But there's also another guy with them, and he seems like, well, a pretty cool guy. He has a mask on and everything. Nagari asks who he is, and the man just says, oh, I'm Masked Deuce. You can call me Masked Deuce. Masked Deuce, but yeah. But Luffy told Nagari that Ace found a Devil Fruit too, and they're out sailing just to explore the East Blue, and they found the Devil Fruit, the Marimar no Mi. This actually does Luffy flipping up the Marimar no Mi, and Nagari questions this, and Luffy says, oh, he made another one. He found out how they work, and made a whole new one. They threw it to Sabo, and Sabo wanted to eat it, and Sabo says, sure, why not? He took a bite right out of it. If it says this is artificial Devil Fruit, but it's perfect. Like completely perfect. There's no flaws in it whatsoever. The difference is, Luffy mom modified it so you only thing is you can swim, but you move very slow, like super slow. So you're lucky to be moving underwater at all with this fruit, but if you can swim a bit. But yeah, that's kind of what it does. So yeah, Luffy gave Sabo Marimar no Mi. Not going to ask Luffy if he's going to clone his own Devil Fruit. Luffy says, probably not. His fruit is different from everyone else's. This is a kind of question. It's probably Luffy says, from what he knows, hasn't heard, there's zones, Paramecia's, Logias. Sabo have Logias. Luffy seems to be a Paramecia, but deep down, this fruit is more like a zone. These place your second and your third. I think that Paramecia can do this, but it's more resemblant of a zone ability. So he breaks it down what zones Devil Fruit do, and they're like, oh yeah, your fruit is more like a zone Devil Fruit. Luffy says with how little changed me, it's probably a human fruit, model something else. I don't know yet, but human something. That's what I'm guessing. And they want to know what it is. It seems pretty interesting. But yeah. Now with this, we move on to when Luffy's 15, Ace and Sabo are 18, they already left. And the thing is, Sabo went to find Dragon. And Sabo went to find Dragon. Ace went to be a pirate, I guess, with Masked Deuce. And, yeah. So, this one when Ace fought Jinbei, he fought Jinbei for it was more like 9 hours, and he beat Jinbei in those 9 hours. He learned how to use a lot of weapons and martial arts from Luffy. So, yeah. Plus, how brutal Luffy is as a teacher, he couldn't really, just be proved wrong with the teaching or be given a break. Luffy had left him on an island, on a deserted island for almost a week with no food or water, and Ace had to find some way to survive on his own. That 1 week turned into a month, and that 1 month turned into 8 months. So, yeah, Ace kind of spent 8 months on an island alone. Then Sabo also did the same kind of training. So yeah. Pause. So yeah, we just go on to Luffy when he says he wants to leave now. He goes to side out, he basically just empties the whole thing out. But he basically press a button in the middle of it, and then just it transforms into a giant ship. And that's how the ship looked like. It was wooden, but on the inside, Luffy's ship was basically in the future. And he didn't have enough tech in the area he was in to make a portal gun. He didn't get enough tech to actually make a portal room, so to say. He can mimic the effect of a portal, but can only go one place, and that was to the whole Council of Luffy's dimension. No, well, not Luffy. Not even Council. It's kind of like the dimension of Luffy's and Rick's. He can go there and everybody see him, and he displays his new abilities. He says that his fruit probably a human something, and this is the shock that Luffy figured it out, realizing he's probably smarter than them all. So they actually deem him the perfect Luffy and the perfect Rick at the same time. He still looks like this, but with black hair. And he's like, only difference is let me check something real quick. The only thing is that like Luffy's a bit taller. And at this point, he's 15. Gonna be around like 5'6" because Luffy's gonna grow the same height as Rick, so he'd be going to be like a whole foot taller, so like 6'3", 6'4". But yeah. So yeah. We just move on, I guess. And so we move on to Luffy going to yeah, we just go on to Luffy eventually leaving. So as he leaves, well, he travels on a ship around the East Blue and the South Blue as well. Whereas eventually he came across the Kokoshi village where he met Nami. He met Nami, well, he kind of just was all based on Kokoshi village. He tried to scam Luffy, but he just said that he was using the trick himself. She can't fool him with that. Luffy at this point just kind of wears well, a red shirt, goggles on his head, a straw hat, then red shirt, straw hat, goggles on his forehead around there. Then he also just has kind of just joggers on, and then the sandals, and just can one shot everyone thought with how well physically based he is. His body's 24 at its peak power, so he's already just out muscling most characters we'd ever meet in the story. Yeah. So with this, we just see Luffy go into Arlong Park, saying that hear about this place, and wanted if he'll do business with him. So as he goes to Arlong Park, they come to question what Luffy's doing there, and Kirby will try to basically intimidate Luffy to go away. Only Luffy swing around, just kick him in the head so hard that it knocked him out. This is when Luffy says that he can't just intimidate him into leaving. Then Shu would look at Luffy pulling out a gun, and Luffy just kind of grabs a gun and just breaks it, pulling his own gun out, and then shooting Kirby basically just right in the head. You can bounce right off, not bounce right off, but kind of just dent him. Pause. So the bullets wouldn't kind of just leave a mark, but not fully kill them. But Luffy kind of shot just straight through Chu's eye and went through his head. Chu to the ground dead. And Luffy looked at Hachi as Hachi would dash at Luffy. Luffy supposed a dagger blocking all Hachi's attacks. Luffy just thrusts it right into his chest. Wouldn't kill him, but it's enough to actually make him bleed a bit. Then Hachi ends up falling back, holding his chest, just coughing a bit of blood. Arlong started Luffy questioning who he is. Before Arlong can even finish the sentence, Luffy grabbed his nose, picked up Arlong by his neck, and began pulling. Arlong ended up yelling, screaming in pain, and then yelled and begging Luffy, just screaming, "Put me down! Put me down! Stop pulling! Put me down! Stop pulling!" Even Gen can see what the commotion was. Only see Nami just smiling in joy. Luffy then says, "Actually, I'll pull on lower place, not pull, but grab on the lower place and pull on your nose still." He just stretched his arms out, and basically pulling on Arlong's leg and on his nose at the same time. If everyone to watch Arlong be pulled in half. He says, and I think that's it. Wants to come at me themselves. It's all true that Luffy only for seconds for them all to be beaten down by Luffy. With them all beaten up, well, that kind of end this arc. Luffy's 15, Nami is roughly around 16. So, yeah. This Luffy's leaving. She asks Luffy who he is. Luffy says his name is Monkey D. Luffy. He asks how old he is, and he says, "Oh, I'm 15. And, well, he doesn't know who Nami is. He's met, some other Luffy's crews. And they're able to get behind, Luffy's technological genius, so to say. Alright, so, with him meeting the crews, he's also met Nami. And some of them Luffy's are even, dating the Namis, or just doing some other actions to her. And most of them he's met. But, yeah. Some of the Mortys even have kids. Not Mortys. Luffy's even have kids. So, yeah. So, yeah. We was going to Luffy who would we was going to Luffy who would just what was it? Yeah. So when he talks to Nami, he's eventually able to get her to like I guess he's usually able to like convince her to join his crew by like simply dropping it. But how subtle he is about it, no one even notices it. But if she does actually offer like just want to join Luffy's crew as like a navigator, she says she can do that, and he agrees. So she gets all paper at Arlong. It's like just Arlong Park, putting them into her I guess into the ship. Luffy also does know that he doesn't want that many people, but roughly around 10 or 11, maybe even 15 at the most. And there's roughly around 16 rooms. One room is kind of an office, but that's like a portal room. No one's allowed in there. Well, until he meets his Zoro, people will be allowed in there, but only him and Zoro. People he trusts, I guess, will be allowed in there, but not just yet. So Nami ends up finding her room. Finding it is a perfect match. So with this, Luffy would just let Nami have her room, and eventually they sail away. And before they sail away, Nami doesn't like ask about her like trees that she can plant, and Luffy says just go crazy with it. I don't really care. But she realizes there's kind of a small area for garden in her room, and actually asked Luffy if he knew who she was. He says yeah, he kind of just like formed a lie saying yeah he knew who she was, and heard about her being a legendary thief and supposedly a good navigator. She had a lot of maps reporting some guys where she drew a lot of them. So he chose to actually just I guess find her. First he wanted to free her from Arlong. She'll have a lot more freedom on the screen. She can leave anytime she needs to. But she got a whole tour of the ship. The ship's about as big as a cruise ship, which means all the rooms are huge. Yeah, so the ship is like the size of a cruise ship, which is kind of weird, but it has enough rooms for only 16 people. Luffy being included in that 16, I guess. But yeah. So that means all the rooms are like just ginormous in size. Like they take up like their own portions of the ship, but they don't know how to like activate the other larger portions of the ship. Because Luffy doesn't trust them all to actually activate the full potential of their rooms. Like it's much potential they have enough potential to activate like the full potential of their room when they are like roughly post time skip power levels. Also, yeah. So Luffy does eventually move on, heading to Start Village, where he does meet Usopp. Usopp sees his abilities as a marksman and sniper, and well, even Claude or Kuro is amazed at how well Luffy is. Even with martial arts, Luffy seems to be above him. And even with speed, above him. Intelligence, seemingly above him. As that ship, Luffy says he built it by himself, and there's no signs that it was ever bought. Like, even Mary, when he heard Luffy made the ship, actually wanted to investigate it and just tell everyone that the ship is like he built it by hand. And Luffy did inherit some parts of it, or inherit a little bit of it and add it on. He says no, he built it in the last 5 years. So, like, he realized how fast he can build anything. Then even built stuff like his dream slingshot being like Kabuto. This one can like shrink and expand by like a press of a button. And he built that in like 45 seconds. So the thing, Luffy even pointed out that the bottom of it can fire a bullet as he just like tilts it out and then just twists a certain part and the bullet is fired right out. Usopp is just shocked by this. Luffy actually spent like 3 days at the village with Nami even having a contact built for her, but also being taught how to use it. Also, with how well Luffy builds everything, he built her contact from the post time skip. The only difference is there is no Zeus involved. Also, with the whole wind thing that she has, Luffy taught her to do that too because he already knew how to do that. He made one of those things before when he was 9. He taught Sabo to do it. Sabo showed him showing this real cool trick. Luffy just perfected it in seconds. But yeah. Yeah, by the way, Ace at this point is our 2nd Division commander, and he's also a genius in his own right. If you train Luffy, that would also include training your brain. So yeah, it's not where are their own geniuses, so to say. It's kind of the best way to say they're their own geniuses. So I have a lot more than canon. But yeah, with this we go on to Luffy to this. When Luffy's about to leave, he does point out Kuro's also a pirate. Everyone shocked everyone. They asked how Luffy knows this. Because he has bangles from everyone in the East Blue for Marines specifically, and Kuro has a Marine one. So I never just realized it's a Marine bounty, and it says it's inactive, and basically says executed, but he's right there, meaning he lied to the Marines to escape being executed, or someone was basically like something in for him. Kuro doesn't have life for this. Attack Luffy immediately. Going to cut his face wide open. Luffy just caught his arm and just broke it with his raw strength. Luffy just squeezed his arm full force and just crushed it completely, making him scream in pain. Then suddenly Luffy threw Kuro back, and basically got like a boxing pose and just being just doing like flicker punch after flicker punch, just doing it over and over to the point where it knocked him out. But by the time Kuro hits the ground, and Luffy basically just asks anyone what you do with him, and this Luffy basically just goes on grabbing a Den Mushi and calling the Marines. Well, it's not even a Den Mushi. It's kind of just like a regular phone, but yeah, so he basically just calls the Marines, and tells them about just Kuro's here, and that it was a fake execution, and they kind of confused, but they go and bring him, find him, and then they ended up basically arresting him. So yeah, now with this, Luffy and Nami leave, and then she asks Usopp if he wants to join him, and Usopp said yeah, he wants to join him. So Usopp ran on the ship. Kai is actually fully healed because Luffy identified that was just stress-induced sickness. So once Kuro's dead, and her parents' death is confirmed how it happened, she kind of got relieved, but also the island kind of flourished because of Luffy being there. But for this, we eventually go on to Luffy heading to this random island. On this island, he met a young boy by the name of Kobe. Kobe was fishing, about to get on a boat, but Luffy's leaving, sees Kobe about to get on the wrong boat, and he pulls Kobe onto a small dinghy. So basically, once Kobe's on his dinghy, actually asks Luffy about his ship, and asks Luffy where he bought it. Luffy says he just built it. Something gun puts at Luffy's head, but Usopp actually puts Kabuto to this random person's neck, and the person actually asks Usopp what he's doing. Usopp gained a bit of confidence from Luffy. The confidence gained from Luffy, it was kind of just very much justified. So basically, with this, Usopp's confidence doesn't give him the confidence to shoot someone, but not kill them. The person would basically just end up putting his gun away, asking Usopp what he's doing. Usopp would point Kabuto down to the person's basically just knee, shooting them right in the knee with Kabuto. Luffy's screaming in pain. Suddenly Luffy ends up kicking the pirate to the ground, and then just going years second, beating them all down to the ground with no effort. By the time he's done, he ends up basically just grabbing a flask in his pocket, and it's not really, it looks like a flask, but in reality it's kind of just non-alcoholic, but does give him the symptoms of being drunk. In a sense, Luffy does get a higher intelligence boost from this. He's a bit more sloppy too. I guess more careless, but also weirdly more intelligent. So Luffy is basically just kind of like that. Boy came himself Vito's screw, Luffy suddenly gets in the pose, and it's his drunken fist. Luffy isn't really drunk, but it does make him more sloppy and boosts his intelligence. So, yeah. But using drunken fist, he beats down all of Alvito's crew, even Alvito herself. But with his last kick, he sends Alvito flying into basically whatever island he was in canon. But then he beats them all down. Kobe is impressed by Luffy, and Kobe actually wants to join Luffy's crew, realizing Luffy's a pirate with a giant Jolly Roger on the side of the ship. Luffy agrees to let Kobe join his crew, and Luffy just kind of punches a hole through Kobe's dinghy as it sinks, and Kobe just gets on the boat. This one's the boat, he finds his own room. This one Luffy ends up saying he's going to have to open up another room. And Luffy ends up going to find a random room, and he comes out in like 3 hours, and he tells Kobe that's his room. They sail away, or Nami sails away as they just go around. And so Luffy found Jimisuke Village. Everyone questions what boat this is, why it's so huge. Luffy hop off the boat, and he hops off and lands on his feet from 1,000 feet. Not 1,000 feet in the air, but he jumped from about around 200 or so feet in the air. But he landed on his feet, he's completely fine, as his bones are basically rubber, so they kind of just took all the brunt of the damage. He wasn't really phased. Luffy walked around saying he's looking for someone. Of course, Luffy says Robo Noah Zoro. Roro Noah Zoro. Zoro walks out questioning Luffy. Once from Zoro's kind of wearing the traditional dojo ski. Yeah, but the difference is his hair is kind of just a bit longer because he didn't cut it for a while. Luffy ends up pulling out basically kind of just a wooden sword. Playing Zoro come at him. We'll see the three-sword style. Zoro suddenly dashed at Luffy full speed. Luffy already knows the ins and out of the styles. Luffy had met Luffy's crew, so it means he has trained with him at least once. But that one's actually turned into around 15 to 20 different times of different crews. Pause. Alright, so, Luffy would just go and, I don't know. So he beat Zoro pretty easily, honestly. But Luffy made a bet in the middle fight telling Zoro that if he loses, he has to join his crew, which led to Zoro going all out and still losing. When this is, Luffy now has like a scar under his eye, which just leads to the scar that Luffy has in canon. He actually pulls like a needle stitching up his eye, as he actually, no one knows this, but Luffy let Zoro hit him, so he had that like the signature scar. So he stitched up his eye, and yeah, he's also a decent medic. So yeah. Chopper gave him a few tips. And one of the crews that he met was the adult Chopper who made like the cure all disease. So Luffy is about the same level as a Wano Chopper, like a Mongo Wano Chopper. So he's a genius medic too. So, also in power, the only thing is he can beat basically every version of Luffy. It's just he can't beat like anything after Whole Cake Island. Like Whole Cake Island and above, he can't beat those versions of Luffy. Despite other ones before that having Haki. Luffy just simply stronger, faster, and can be better than them in every single way. So, but Zoro did lose, and Zoro just went to rematch, and Luffy agreed, beating Zoro every single time. But even Luffy just covered his eye, basically covered his eyes, put out one arm, telling Zoro to come at him, and Luffy still beat Zoro that exact same way. Even since he left with like a few more scratches. Eventually, Zoro did have to admit that he has to join the crew now. But Zoro found the room he was in. He found out this room was basically perfect for him. It's like the weight room he desires, but also the exact bedroom he desires. He gets in the bedroom. He's telling everyone he's happy in this room. He doesn't want to leave it now. But Luffy also did him a favor. Luffy, around a week before he met Nami, he went to Log Town. He bought the blades. The thing is, he paid an unbelievable amount of money for it. No, that's how he got the money. It's Luffy, but genius Luffy. For all they know, he can print the money. But he basically paid like billions of berries for it. So. Yeah. A billion, so like just a few million berries for it, and he bought the blades. But he gave them to Zoro. Zoro was actually, the blades feeling that they're kind of cursed, but also really strong. But now with this, Zoro, Luffy, and Nami leave Shimosuke Village. At this point, Luffy is 15, Usopp's 15, Nami is 16. Zoro, at this point, he is 18. Yeah. At this point, it wouldn't be his birthday just yet. Alright, we would just, Zoro, Luffy, Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, and Kobe. So they have their rooms, and, yeah. Luffy also bought Zoro, Yubashiri, and Kisetsu the Third, and Zoro has to get accustomed to cursed blades. So yeah. This, we move on to the Bratie. Luffy would arrive there. When he gets there, he actually would talk to Sanji. Specifically Sanji. But knowing what Sanji likes, he's actually able to get Sanji to actually join the crew. He's able to get Sanji to join the crew, but Zeph is the only one that sees what Luffy's doing. Seemingly, he knows what to say to get Sanji to join the crew. This is something interesting. Luffy says he knows where All Blue is. This actually confused Zeph and everyone else, acting like it isn't just a legend. He actually pulls out a map. We pull out a map, like two maps, so basically, he has two maps. So two maps that basically consist of the East and South Blue and the North and West Blue. We put them together to the point where they actually make like the globe officially. One time, started talking on the map, questioning why he knows it's there. We actually would bring up Massacre from the ship, and they actually means just zooming in on it. This gets confusing them as they actually look through it, and they realize that there's a small dot on the map indicating a small body of water. There's a person that'd be about the size of a small pond. And that small pond, it happens to be near a small island that's very close to the red line, kind of connecting to it. So we go in there, and we go to that island, find the pond. It actually has the intersection of all blues. You can go fishing and find different kinds of fish. But also just expands just through time. The Shock to them all, as Luffy says, the area that it's in, well, geology is kind of weird. So, just erosion and everything else would make the pond grow in size. So, by the time it's done, probably a small lake. But yeah. So yeah, with this, eventually Sanji does actually like volunteer to go to Luffy's crew, and he goes on the boat finding a room, and he finds this room he likes. This room happens to be, well, it seems especially designed for him. You really, like, Sanji does point this out, and everyone does question how Luffy knows what rooms they'd like. Because no, they're just rooms designed for certain roles on the ship. Sanji's room is designed for the chef. Those rooms is designed for a swordsman. Nami's room is designed for a navigator. Kobe, he kind of just came up with it on a whim. Then for Usopp, a room designed for a marksman and a sniper. So yeah, let's also have just a regular weight room. But yeah, so with this, we just move on to probably just them heading like in the South Blue, just explore. After South Blue, we just move on a few years. Around 2. 2 years later, we head on to Luffy, who's already in the Grand Line at this point, and he already fought Smoker before and beat Smoker. You know, Luffy's beaten basically every single opponent he would have had in the East Blue. He beat Buggy when he was 16, he beat Buggy's whole crew by himself. Luffy at this point already has a bounty worth of roughly around 70 million. Between intelligence alone and battle strategies, his crew's raw power. Luffy's first bounty 70 million. Zoro is the one that's vice captain. His bounty is going to be roughly around 30 million. Sanji 25 million. Usopp 10 million. Nami 6 million. Kobe would be around the same amount as Nami, 6 million. Usopp's 10 million. So yeah. Usopp has like a high bounty. In fact, he's killed a few Marines before. But also, Luffy had made Usopp a few pop greens. Like he made pop greens. He heard about them before, and also in the whole poor room, he met Luffy's crew again over and over again, other Luffy's crew. So yeah. Especially when my back pops, like it hurt a lot. Shit. Yeah. So Luffy haven't been in the Grand Line at this point, and he's kind of just sitting on a small tower in not tower, but a small, it's like house in Whiskey Peak. He looks at Zoro down on the ground as Luffy's drinking from a flask and throws it on Zoro. And Zoro happens to see a pile of guys. Sanji and Usopp do the same thing. But at this point, he's about as buff as he is, like just post time skip, and about as strong as himself post time skip too. But also, Usopp kind of like the soaking mask on like his hip, resting there, and then just has like overalls as well. But there's like a long sleeve shirt under that. Now Nami's hair grown out, and she has a climate attack, but also a stronger one. So yeah, but Luffy also get to know them in these 2 years and basically explain to them that he's going through like the whole like Luffy verse thing, but also the Rick and Morty verse, and to show them the other Luffys that he knows that are geniuses, but also just regular, just a bit more powerful than normal Luffy, and their crews that are all grown up, and also the Ricks. Also, Nami kind of blushes, saying some Luffys who had actually done a few things with the Namis having kids. He also met the Luffy from my first series, being the one that would have Shanks had trained Luffy. And he also met that Nami who had a few kids with Nami, Robin, and all them. So, yeah. Which was kind of shocking for her, but, yeah. And Luffy has a bet going without Luffy, basically that, like, this Luffy, the Rick Sanchez Luffy, has a bet going with the Shanks training Luffy, that Luffy can have more kids and more women. So, yeah. There's kind of like the whole bet going on for them. They're betting around 2 trillion berry on that. Yeah, so roughly $15 billion is running on that bet. 15 billion. But man, so Luffy and Whiskey Peak had beaten up basically most of the numbers, in the millions and billions. Vivi's already on like an ally of him now. All he has to do is escort her back to Whiskey Peak. Not Whiskey Peak, I mean, all the way back to Alabasta, but at this point, he should be roughly at Orangetown with time going. So he should be at Orangetown, but he's in Whiskey Peak. What that he does tell them that they should go on. And, Kobe's about bounty matching Nami. But Kobe's a lot stronger, it's just he does not in battle 24/7. Also, Kobe had learned like Soru and everything. So yeah, he learned Soru. He learned Soru and he learned Tempest Kick. Hanzonji did just learn Geppo. But Luffy also identified Sanji as like a cyborg from one of the other Sanjis. But the preferred not to tell this Sanji. But Luffy actually is going to tell him. So yeah. But they was Peak heading to Little Garden. They had Little Garden with Vivi, Vivi, Miss Monday, Mr. Nine, and Igaram. They meet Dory and Bragi, and Luffy just tell them about like the crew that they have. It's waiting for them to return. He's able to persuade them to head back to Albath. Luffy says he's sure that they'll meet them there. So yeah, Dory and Bragi kind of leave. Luffy knew about them, the fact of Usopp talking about them a lot, with all other Usopp that he knows. So yeah. With this, we go on to them getting to Drum Island to meet Chopper. Like Luffy just finds Chopper. And Chopper is actually able to talk to Chopper about just medical stuff and how well like he is as a doctor. And Doctor and Chopper are just shocked at how well Luffy is. I bet just as like a doctor himself. Luffy says he can do surgeries, he can do extraction, he can do a lot of things. This points out a few moments before that he's healed as Zoro had fought Mihawk. It was just a lot earlier than canon. He lost a lot more severely too, but yeah. This being stronger, he got a more severe injury. So yeah. But the fight was going over. The only difference is Mihawk had to use Yo-Yo from the start. The thing is, he didn't break Zoro's blades. At the best, he broke Yubashiri, where Zoro just bought like a regular blade to replace it. So Zoro only has Kitetsu, Wado, and a regular blade. Yubashiri is kind of just in pieces. But that's all I wanted to say about like Zoro. He shows off all of the wounds on the swords, saying he healed all of these. Nami even has like one bullet wound that he healed from her. Good for her. So Doctor didn't want to go around Luffy saying how well he would treat diseases, and he does it pretty well. Also, Luffy kind of looks like I would say he looks like Rick at this point. Luffy's around just 6'1" exactly, but he wears a white lab coat, a red long sleeve shirt, joggers, and still sandals. But also has a straw hat on, or on his neck, or on his hip. One of the two, on his neck or on his hip. Doesn't really wear it on his hair. His hair's kind of just crazy, going everywhere. Kind of just him staying up late, but also not caring about like just natural, maintaining hygiene. He does like to wash himself, but with his hair, he doesn't really care about it. Like he'll wash it, and that's really just it. Just wash it, and that's it. He won't comb it or anything. But yeah. So Chopper eventually is able to be persuaded to join Luffy's crew, and yeah. But also, Luffy gave him like these different kinds of rumble balls. Which does exactly Chopper. It's like some of them are larger than the others. Chopper actually went up to these rumble balls. Luffy says, "Oh, these were Colonel does his fruit his own as well." This confused Chopper and Dr. Ines as he doesn't look like he could use his own devil fruit. Luffy explains he ate a human no meat too, but it's some kind of god. He forgot which one, but it's N something. Someone told him what it was, but he forgot it soon after. So yeah. These plays the gears, and then like gear second and gear third. Gear fourth, but there's no hockey involved. Well, gear fourth, there's hockey involved, just only observation. But yeah, so he displays it like these are his transformations. His final gear is probably gonna be his awakening. And Chopper does think that's really cool, but Luffy explains that rumble balls can do put Chopper through gears, and the bigger ones can forcibly awaken it, but Chopper's not strong enough to take them yet. He has to train a lot to be able to take it. And the thing is, these rumble balls only work on Chopper. But yeah, if we were to take it, it wouldn't do anything to him. It would taste like a devil fruit. That's all they do. Just taste like a devil fruit, so it's really bad. But next arc, they head all the way to Alabasta, where they run through all the opponents they need to. So yeah, so with this, eventually they get all the way over to where you go to when Luffy would first fight Crocodile. Luffy conjures Crocodile. Well, Crocodile would meet Luffy. Only Luffy to spit like right on his face, like talking about a giant loogie on his face. Luffy gets Crocodile a bit agitated. He'll suddenly punch right in the face by Luffy. Luffy uses knuckle to jab it, just like right in Crocodile's. It's like near his eye socket really. The Crocodile's feel like crack, and suddenly he's IBN bleeding. He's confused by, and suddenly Luffy swings his water bottle, smashing it right in Crocodile's face so hard that the whole thing shattered. The Crocodile at the ground, Luffy just basically wailing on him over and over again, where the blood's like splattering everywhere. But he stop Crocodile's unconscious, and Luffy basically put up like a Mushi calling Marines. Well, Crocodile had basically taken over a country, and Luffy has him detained right now. There's some Marines nearby, have been to Hina's group, and Luffy basically gave them to Hina. Gave Crocodile to Hina. And also told him about Whiskey Peak, where it's covered in Marines. Not Marines, I mean, in bounty hunters and mercenaries and pirates. So they go after them, too. But they say like basically offered like to tell Hino where they were in exchange that she wouldn't arrest him or his crew, and she agreed to that. She wasn't too pleased about it, so she found out how much money she would get from these bounties, or just how much credit she'd get from the bounties. Yeah. Also, Luffy didn't meet Ace here. Ace is kind of far away, but also Ace can meet Blackbeard pretty easily, honestly, so it wouldn't really be a challenge for him. Note this: Luffy basically tells his crew that he should go out. Like, hey, we should go out. We should move on somewhere else. Next stop would probably be Jaya, and they agree to that. But first, we just thank them with like a party for like 2-3 days. And Luffy got more women than he'd ever have in the rest of his life, as he basically did it with most women that came to the party. So yeah, but then he leaves. Robin actually reveals herself to the crew, and Luffy offers her to join. Finds a room, and she does find out the room is basically just meant for like an architect and like a historian. But also the room kind of has like pictures of poneglyphs on them. There's just a question Luffy about this, saying that he should have been like he was aiming for her. He says, yeah, her specifically. He's aiming for her only. As for this position, if he didn't get her to join, he'd probably just kidnap her. So yeah. But Robin asked us like, doesn't he have any ill intention towards her? He just says, nah, just want you to read poneglyphs for me. That's really just it. Well, not for me. I want you to teach me how to read them. Because Luffy points out you can read around half the poneglyph, he can't read them fully. So she teaches him how to read the other half, and like she explains it, but then he gets it in like a few seconds. He just thanks her, telling her she can leave now if she wants. But she just stays. She just stays. Next up, Jaya. They sail all over to Jaya. Luffy the time also leads Robin to reveal about like CP9 and everything. But she's well aware of the crew that like starting this crew that Zoro himself could probably drop the whole CP9 crew by himself. Same with Sanji, same with Nami, same with Usopp, same with Kobe, same with Luffy, most definitely Luffy. Like she compares Luffy to a vice admiral in power. Probably even an actual admiral, but that's probably not true. But so they get to Jaya. Luffy's son is there. Bellamy is not there, but Rakuyo is. Not Rakuyo. Roshio. Roshio's there, and Luffy's meeting him and playing just poker with him. He meets him pretty easily. Rakuyo just accused Luffy of cheating, only to be thrown out a window and have his basically he lands like a curb and his back just breaks. Everyone sees him just dead in the street. So yeah. Now with this, Luffy does eventually just go and meet Cricket, as he needed nowhere to find him because of just other Luffys. So we got Cricket, and Luffy just the flask that he has, and this one's actual alcohol. So and just really strong homemade sake from Luffy. And only difference is Luffy has like a really high tolerance to alcohol. So yeah. So with this, Luffy basically just talks to Cricket. They find the bird because of Chopper, and with that, they fly into the air eventually. They go up there. They pay the entry fee. So yeah. So with this, we go into them just meeting. What was her name? I forgot. Luffy ended up meeting Konis and Paguya, and yeah. But here's about Enel and being like just talking shit to Enel, like just like yelling, cursing Enel. But Enel shoot down lightning. Luffy sends his hand in the air, punching a lightning bolt into pieces. We'll say back and then yells to Enel that he's basically just yells, "I made a rubber, the only thing that lightning can't destroy." Well, Enel gets nervous, not believing that, he just tries to hit Luffy repeatedly. Almost Luffy just used like I'm going no jet gatling, and punch all lightning bolts into pieces. But when he's done, Enel just really said Luffy came here to basically personally just beat the crap out of Enel. Luffy charged with force with the trust by his side, and they cut down anyone who's in their way. But eventually Luffy would arrive with Enel meeting Luffy halfway through, and Enel would really be going all out from the start, only to be hit by like just a jet gatling off the bat. Then just hit by it, he can't even dodge any of it. It's just moving as fast as he can move. It gradually goes faster than him, and basically he's just hit by it and over, and he does get knocked out by it. Now, Luffy had ceased his jet gatling as Enel's on the ground, crumbled in just pieces. His bones are broken all over the place. And, well, all of Enel's crew is also beaten up. And Luffy does tell them, like, just bring Enel and leave. And they do just that. Bring him to space and everything. To the moon and all places, too. So yeah, once Enel and his crew and his guys leave, Luffy doesn't announce himself as God, but says he won't be here the whole time. He has something else to do. They do kind of ask Luffy like how long will he be gone? And this Luffy says probably 2-3 years, 5 at the top, five at the most. This makes him a bit nervous, but Luffy says, "Don't worry, he'll handle it." But then he then runs telling all the crew to get on the boat. He'll get down his own way. It says they everyone's like basically fire off like the thrusters and they shoot like right down through the White Sea. Luffy just jump and just yell "Geppo" as he kicks the air full force and he gets flying just through the White Sea. Comes like it's torpedoing through it. As the ship is falling, Luffy ends up catching onto it. And even with how durable the ship is, it would be like it would go from like 100% to like 99.00009%. And Luffy isn't risking that. So yeah, when the ship's about to hit land, Luffy ends up basically catching the ground. Like not it wouldn't hit land, it hit water. But Luffy basically like just stretch out his arms and cover a whole island. He can do that actually. It's not a whole island. It's really small. Like the size of like a small town, so to say. So, very small. Pause real quick. It's not. I don't know if the land is roughly about like at the most 20 acres, and Luffy can cover that. So yeah. It just arms out, then Mitchell would catch the whole like the ship with his bare hands. And Luffy goes on the ship like the Sunny or the Mary. Like he says, call it whatever you want, basically. But he calls it the Sunny and the Mary. And so sub agrees with those names too. So does the rest of the crew. So it's the Sunny or the Mary. But whatever the two names that they want. We catch it, then eventually would swing out and then swing into the air, landing on the boat. And they sail away as they're in the middle of a marine base. But when they came near them, they feel like you press a button and cannon would fire to the point where the island's almost destroyed. But everyone just notice that no one's dead, but just pretty badly injured. That's really just it. So they leave, heading to Water 7. They arrive, and they're here to get their ship checked out. They walk around until Luffy eventually found like the Frankie family hideout. And he walked in there. Everyone walked in questioning who this nerd is. They say nerd out loud because of the science coat. But he's looking like specifically for Frankie. Someone hit him like head with a board, only for the board to shatter, and Luffy isn't phased by it, just hitting them once, and their whole body just like crumples to the ground, unconscious. Frankie's kind of watching from the distance, and Luffy doesn't know this. At least on the whole Frankie family by himself, so Frankie would end up revealing himself. But for that shit, Luffy only like catch him like by the neck, and Luffy ends up tearing off like the whole just cloak thing. Until Frankie, he knows he's a cyborg, and he has upgrades to offer him. Frankie says, "Oh yeah, what can you offer me?" Luffy shows him the ship, and Frankie says, "Upgrade me all you want." So yeah. So Luffy basically ends up bringing Frankie into like his ship and like in a workshop, which happens to be Frankie's bedroom. Little does Frankie know. And Luffy ends up working on Frankie, and when Frankie returns, like it's been like a day or two, and Iceberg's outside waiting to see what Frankie had turned into. I think like a monster or something. Frankie's arms, his body looks human, like the appropriate age it should be, like same height and everything. But Frankie's like his whole like just muscular arms in a way, but his body's like completely bulky. Like he's built like the Hulk. He's built like the Bruce Banner Hulk fusion, but he's not green, but just like 7'3". 7'3", long blue hair, but his body is just extremely muscular and just the whole super thing. Plus he can feel like just wander around like a human. Just to compare him would be like to like the Vinsmoke family. But Frankie is able to control all cybernetics that he wants, and like it's just like you can do all the same techniques. You can do post times, do all the same techniques and everything. Frankie is like pleased to have all these abilities. And she just says, "Sanji, it's your turn." Sanji is confused by this, and Luffy says, "You know everything about Sanji's past and everything." And she does shock Sanji. I smell Luffy never told Sanji that he knew. Luffy says because he's busy examining him. Sanji's a cyborg, just doesn't know it. Then he ends up poking Sanji's leg and then just says, go into the De La Jambe. Sanji will go into De La Jambe. And the way she does like poke around Sanji's leg, saying these flames are they're coming from Sanji's body. This isn't just his air like his legs sparking against the air or anything. The flames are coming from his body itself. He's like his body shooting out flames. Sanji's kind of shocked by this. Suddenly Luffy ends up saying, "How about this?" He ends up basically kissing Sanji with like a remote, which just confuse him. He's just hit across the face with a sword, and the blade, it's not like any important, so it's not Zoro's or anything, it's just like a random sword that Luffy had on board because he stole from from Skypia. He hit Sanji with it, and the blade is shattered on impact. And Sanji is this human. And Sanji's jaw immediately drops. Luffy says, "No, don't worry. I'll make sure you're not anything like your siblings." Sanji began crying, thanking Luffy for that. Luffy ends up basically kind of just engineering Sanji. But Sanji's actually able to use all the elements of his siblings: fire, lightning, poison, everything. The wind, too. But also, his body's just intensely strong and fast. But also Sanji's programming does give Sanji the ability of all the Rokushiki, because he can. By far, Sanji's second strongest on the crew. Second strongest. That's it. But Luffy also she does ask Frankie to run the crew, and Frankie agrees with how well Luffy treated him. And now Sanji went from number 2 to number 3. Frankie had to take him up as number 2. So yeah. So with this, Frankie and Sanji are both just cyborgs now. But Luffy says you're more like androids, so to say. But yeah. He knows about the word androids, the fact that he met one of the Ricks who gave him Dragon Ball manga. So Luffy has a ton of manga from like our dimension, or our universe, so to say. He even has a bit of One Piece manga. Luffy's aware that he's not real. He's aware of it. Like he's self-aware of his universe, not kind of just not being real, and just being a story told by some random teenager who has nothing better to do. But yeah. With this, well, CP9 was like watching this, just intrigued. Then she asked Robin like were they CP9? She said, "Yep, they're CP9." So eventually I spoke to the side, telling about what CP9 was and who they are. And they went on an undercover mission 5 years ago. Sound familiar? Edward immediately spelled out Bluno, Khalifa, Lucci, Kaku, and all of them. So when he pointed all that out, he realized that he could not get that information anywhere from like himself, and he didn't talk to anyone else in Gallia Law. He has to be telling the truth. He has to be. This immediately like Kaku and Lucci and everyone else. And they arrive. Bluno didn't arrive yet because he's not there. But then eventually they go get Bluno, bring him there, and they question like what he wants. Then he talks about CP9, only for Lucci to try to kill him. But suddenly Luffy ended up basically doing a quick jab and nailing him. Then Lucci right across the jaw so hard that it broke it. Like everyone could hear Lucci's body just hit the ground unconscious. And Luffy ends up basically pulling out it's a sword. So he hunts himself as he basically cuts down all CP9. Or whatever they're basically. Just Khalifa, Lucci, Kaku, Bluno. But now he said they're heading to Annie's lobby. He takes off his lab coat, throwing it to Iceberg, telling him to hold on to that. She says he puts on a straw hat, and Luffy says full speed ahead. As they all get in the boat, Luffy ends up pressing a button, and they fire off like a jet. Frankie holds onto the boat, screaming he's never been this fast. Frankie would hold onto the mast, screaming he's never went that fast. Luffy ends up basically telling them they should look out below. Suddenly they look down, seeing that they're right above Annie's lobby. Only for Luffy to basically tell Frankie she just hold his arm out on the train tracks. It was just that. Suddenly he basically shoot his arm down, and then he was actually able to hold on to the mast, but still pull him ship down to the tracks. They arrive at the entrance to Annie's lobby. Luffy ends up pressing a button in his room, and the ship will stay in place. Kind of like a whole gravity button. It's kind of counteracting, and it kind of gets just regular gravity, but also like supposed to go up, but also down. It's just like flipping and staying in place. So it wouldn't move an inch. Suddenly, Luffy would end up running and then jumping on Annie's lobby, pulling the rats with him. They throw them into the air as the giants were running towards them. Kobe would basically grab one of the giants by his hair, throwing him into the ground. And as you say, assume this is the one that Luffy's talking about for Dory and Broggy. Talking about Broggy and Dory and Broggy heading back to Elbaf as we speak. They'll shock them, and they immediately get ready to leave. Well, the giant was slammed in the ground by Usopp himself. So yeah. At this point, Usopp's already a brave warrior of the scene. He knows this. Kobe been spinning around, basically just using boxing, but also a few Rokushiki, knocking out every single member of just sleeping like typical members that come at him. But by the time he's done, he's able to beat them all down. But yeah, Sanji himself and Frankie also being testing out their new abilities. and they're pretty impressed with themselves. Sanji being using fire, lightning, wind. He's finally stronger than his siblings and a cyborg even, but he had everything that he would want out of being a cyborg. Being even able to turn invisible. He didn't even have a stealth suit. He's able to turn invisible. Frankie had all the abilities of the family, the Vinsmoke family. He had every single one of them. So yeah. Frankie's basically Queen, but times 100 and no hockey. So yeah, that's kind of what Frankie is. Yeah, so Frankie and Sanji beat down anyone in their path with pretty much no effort. The power scaling for the crew would go Luffy, Frankie, Sanji, Zoro, Kobe, Usopp, Nami, Chopper, and Robin. Well, Robin's above above Nami and Chopper, but yeah, not except for anyone else. Just acknowledge how strong Luffy and them are, and just how strong Usopp is as well, as he just threw a giant to the ground, and so did Kobe. So yeah. So yeah, by the time they're done, well, yeah. So eventually they were done, and Luffy asked what they should do to the island. And Zoro's Sanji's like, sink it. Frankie's like, sink it. And they all vote sink it, so yeah. Without that being telling away, and Luffy actually says, alright then, what button was that again? Something's like pressing a button, and from like the head, like the mast, it'll tilt down and turn into a cannon. It says, oh yeah, this is what it does. Suddenly the cannon, the mast is expanding, turning like a giant, like just cannon, that's like bigger than the whole ship itself. There's, would it be a laser or cannonball? I forgot. Then it was like, you don't know what that is. Almost fire out a giant laser and incinerate Benny's lobby, like killing everyone on it. Because that's what it does. Without the master back to normal, and if he says, I should probably reverse that. He basically enters the portal room, asking anyone if they have anything to reverse time. One of the bricks is to Luffy, and he uses it to reverse time. Yes, but he heads back out, and yeah. We basically brought it to his realm, like running time by like 5 minutes. Throwing it back in the portal, closing the portal, then just using a different button to destroy his lobby and sink it, but not killing everyone. Few of them escape. Like, that's much better. So, yeah. As they leave, and Frankie does ask Luffy what that was. Luffy says it was a lot of cannonballs, but they were shrunk, and then by the time they hit them, they expand at full size. So after this, we move on to, after that, all the way on to probably just, well, them leaving to the Florian Triangle where they meet Brook. But Luffy already met Brook, and we still Brook in the boat, and Brook agreed. So Luffy ends up basically just holding his arms out, and suddenly Luffy's arms begin moving at rapid speeds, only for Brook to see his whole ship disassembled and put in a giant pile on the deck of Luffy's ship. He told Brook, do whatever he pleases with these. Most of the corpses are in those coffins that he made out of all the wood. Brook basically ends up crying, thanking Luffy for that, saying he couldn't have done that or else he would have died. So yeah, he can tell his Delver's kind of weird. Also, he has an idea. He brought Robin and basically every single Delver user to the side. But then he began basically taking blood samples from them and everything else. By the time he's done, he had made just full copies of the devil fruits. And he took him like around a week or so to do that. And he kind of went past Thriller Bark. But then they see the whole barrel, but Luffy says don't touch it. But Usopp did touch it, and they're found by Thriller Bark. Luffy ends up tapping a button on the mast, on the deck. Cannonball suddenly fire is like destroying, like sinking half of Thriller Bark. Where the screw get their shadows back, and they just run. And Brook got a shadow back. But suddenly Luffy ends up seeing a swordsman dashing at them. Luffy spins around, grabbing Wado from Zoro, and blocking the attack with it. Now, immediately Brook ends up seeing Ryuma, but Ryuma's body just falls in half. Ryuma uses enough of the power to hold out his blade towards Luffy, saying, "You showed skill, take it." Luffy ends up kicking the blade to Zoro, saying, "You take it. You don't have a cool sword yet." Zoro ends up taking Wado and Shisui, questioning if he should take it since he didn't earn it. But Luffy didn't care. He threw Ryuma's body over deck. So, yeah. Actually, he probably wouldn't do that. I'm pretty sure he'd probably just he would probably just keep it on board because it was like kind of like an ancient artifact to the Marines, but also Land of Wano. Yeah, also Luffy does have like a world map. Nami just doesn't know it. Like he has a map of a single island of the world. He got it from one of the other Namis who had like 4 of them. So she gave Luffy one of them. But yeah, Luffy has like 100 of them because he prints them. He has a printer in his room. So he kind of uses that to print out these giant maps. No one knows he has a whole map of the world on his boat. And honestly, he just makes sure that Nami has inspiration. Like in one of the Pirates' dreams that they have, Luffy has already accomplished it or knows what to do, but won't tell them, so they have like drive to go. But yeah, the only thing he hasn't done so far is probably just the all blue and then like just the all blue and defeat Mihawk. Just like those 2 things. But yeah. So yeah, that they leave Moria behind us. Moria didn't even know what hit him. His island, like just half of his ship just sank. And so eventually they arrive at well, first they find the guy that has like Sanji wanted poster. But we're gonna go over the bounties real quick. Alright, so the bounties we'll have to go over before Sabaody. Now the crew consists of Luffy, Zoro, Kobe, Sanji, Nami, Robin, Usopp, Chopper. Well, and Frankie. I've heard about Frankie. Honestly, I've heard about Frankie. I'm bad. Alright, now that all the bounties are established, the crew consists of Luffy, Zoro, Kobe, Sanji, Nami, Robin, Usopp, Chopper, and Frankie. And the bounties would go about with Luffy's starting bounty being 70 million. If you know about that bounty, ask in the comments after the end of the video, and I'll tell you. Then, after Luffy's 70 million bounty, 70 million raid bounty, it should be Crocodile, and how easy it was for him. His bounty went up to 160 million. Also with Luffy's intelligence, but also knowing it, also him being mastermind around this, for singing Annie's lobby, his bounty would go up to 400 million. But then, after sinking Moria's vessel, and also when it came to Kuma, they fought off Kuma, or I didn't say that, but they fought off Kuma. His bounty went up to 550 million. As Luffy kind of hotwired Kuma, made Kuma kind of stop himself away. So he broke into a hotwire wiring at Kuma and made him do that. So yeah, 550 million would be Luffy's bounty after that. Then Zoro's bounty would be 30 million at the start. Then after that, after Alabasta, 90 million. Then after that, after sinking Annie's lobby, participating in that, 300 million. But then after the whole Moria thing, 380 million. Kobe, 10 million. Then it went on to 60 million after Alabasta. Then after Annie's lobby, 170 million. Then now after the Moria thing, 220 million. Sanji, 25 million. He's a bit below Zoro. Then after Alabasta, 86 million. Then after Annie's lobby, 280 million. But now with how well Sanji was actually, how well he actually showed off to be at Annie's lobby, but also with just now him being participated in singing him also being participating in singing Annie's lobby, and now the whole the Thriller Bark thing, his bounty went up to roughly around 400 million, a bit above Zoro by now. Nami, 6 million, then went to 39 million after Alabasta. After Annie's lobby, 92 million, and after Moria, 102 million. Robin, 79 million, after singing Annie's lobby, 109 million, and after Moria, 140 million. Usopp, 10 million, after Alabasta, 62 million. But then after sinking Annie's lobby, 200 million. But then after Moria, 250 million. Chopper, 300. Then after went on 500 after Alabasta. After Alabasta, 300. After Alabasta, 300. After Annie's lobby, 500. And, after singing Annie's lobby, Yeah, after singing Annie's lobby, 500. So yeah. After Alabasta, 300. I think Chopper won too many bounties. So, it was mislabeled. I was mixing up something else I wrote down. Actually, Annie's lobby went to 5,000. I give me count of the zeros and mixed up with something else. Frankie went from 80 million to 110 million after Annie's lobby and after Thriller Bark. So 110 million is his current bounty. Shocking because Robin's actually above him currently, and then Nami's pretty close to as well. So yeah. Chopper, this one has a bit more respect. But now we move on to Sabaody. So when it comes to Sabaody, well, they kind of just meet everyone. Luffy eventually, we go into basically the most important thing being Luffy at the slave auction. Now he's experienced a few things. They're experiencing a few things with slavery, the fact that the Luffys and Ricks have shown around the world in different universes. But Luffy does know a few things to, well, I'd say, how do I say it? I guess to trick slavers. So before the auction even started, he's actually able to trick one of the slavers, and been training the Celestial Dragons, and Rayleigh had watched this. Also Luffy doesn't know who Rayleigh is. He's aware of him. So with that, he also tricked him into giving him Rayleigh. And, well, by the time that they announced it, well, the buy immediately goes to Luffy. Like, Kami, the fish girl, goes to try out Luffy for 18 billion berries. Then, included as a bundle deal, the shipwright, from Sabaody, that 18 billion goes up to 25 billion. Everyone's eyes widen, Luffy ends up walking out holding a flask. Then he basically throws, just has a giant hunk of gold throwing onto the ground, saying straight from 500 years ago, if you want more, I'll give you more. Charles also means Luffy is saying, you there, give me the fish girl. Luffy went around just yelling, Gumbo Gumbo no pistol, and then Charles right in the face. So everyone heard it break, and everyone saw blood spray from his nose and his mouth. Luffy says, well, first, you do address me as sir. Got it? He showed up Charles' parents as his father pulled out a gun. Luffy pulled out a gun first, shooting him right in the hand. Telling him everyone got an auction house while he takes his prizes. They hooked up Kami and Rayleigh. Rayleigh ends up asking Luffy why he did that, why he just went to Celestial Dragon. He says, oh, shut up, Rayleigh. But that, Rayleigh's like, oh, you know who I am. Luffy immediately put out basically a bobby pin, and he immediately disabled the bomb on Kami and on Rayleigh. Which shocked the auctioneers. Luffy just grabbed him by the neck and shot him in the head, so, yeah. They went to the auction house, with Kid and Law being confused. Well, Luffy's the highest bounty of the whole. What was it? I forgot. Fuck. Yeah, he's the highest bounty of the whole. First generation. His bounty is the highest above everyone at 550 million. So it's not a shocker to everyone, honestly. His bounty is already half, more than half of 1 billion. Plus, so that he's a mad genius or a mad scientist. Like his bounty before he went into the Grand Line was a mad scientist Luffy. So it's not he's a genius. But as he's running a Marine out the door, and Luffy had immediately just pulled out something out of his pocket. They all see it's a grenade. We throw it at the Commodore in front of them, and the bomb went off, killing everyone in the vicinity. And that's more powerful than a grenade. Luffy ran over John Paul, releasing him. John Paul's a giant guy on Law's crew. Luffy told them all head over to his boat, and yeah, they all do just that, and it's by Shaki's bar. With everyone there beaten, they ran in Shaki's bar. A few of them did. The Shark crew did, while Luffy tells Law and Kid to hide out on his boat. They're both are likely to be targeted and guarded by Marines, but they can hide there until heat dies down. Getting a lot of questions by the Marines won't connect to the boat, but Luffy says, oh, they kind of repainted it, so it looks like a cruise ship, honestly. But they see this whole Shark crew on it, dressed up as basically just workers. They get Frankie T instead of Cola, so he looks completely different. Usopp is dressed up basically as, they see Soul King on the Wonder poster, so I don't know who Usopp is at all. Not only just dressed up as someone else, even though she has a wig on and everything, everyone else is just dressed up as someone else, just completely different. Also, Zoro hasn't cut his hair in a long time, so his Wonder poster is different. So yeah, Zoro's long hair kind of altered his picture. One of the ones that are recognizable are Luffy and Chopper. This is really just it. Luffy, Chopper, and Robin. There's those three. So they're heading Shaki's bar. The Marines do actually check the ship, but Kid and Law are actually not able to be found, and they kind of think that everyone on the crew is just innocent wait staff, or cruise ship staff. But eventually, when the Marines do go away, the heat dies down because they can't find Luffy or anyone on the Shark crew. They do leave, they end up leaving Kizaru in as well. And there was a question how the Shark crew got away so fast. Even Law and Kid's crew got away somehow. They even asked if the way Luffy could get away. But Garp says that Luffy's intelligence is surpassing Vegapunk, so there's no way to know how he could escape. All they know, like, with how fast the ship could probably go, he's probably all the way into the New World with how fast the ship can move. Who knows? It was kind of like a manhunt for Luffy at this point. But eventually, by the time we come out, all the crew had walked into Shaki's bar. They've been resting there for a bit. And really, actually does ask Luffy, and Usopp actually brings up the voice entry. And Luffy actually wasn't actually interested in it, but he actually decides to not listen to it. This has confused Rayleigh and Robin even. Well, Robin, I mean. It does confuse like everyone else but Luffy and Robin. Like Luffy's a man of science, they thought he'd want this. Robin and Luffy both show interest actually wanting to find out about the voice entry themselves and in person. He does understand this and actually thinks it's very cool. Also calls Luffy a bigger hotshot than Roger was at this age. We can guess this thing. Wasn't Roger like 20 when he became a pirate though? It was laughing saying, "Yeah, fair enough. I didn't even know him. I didn't even know him until like the day he started to become a pirate." So yeah. But really, that's actually like kind of interesting. The whole history of the Strat crew. And Luffy says, "Oh yeah, Nami was the first member of the crew," which really anyone had known that unless it was like. Most people that knew Nami was like the first member was like Usopp and Zoro. Those were the people that knew who the first member was. Just those two. Well, Nami was relevant, Luffy, but yeah, Zoro and Usopp were like, yep, she's the first member of the crew. But yes, who's like captain is Luffy says Zoro. The fact that he was the second strongest in the crew until Sanji and Sanji. Fuck, I forgot Brook. Yep. So Brook added on his bounty is 40 million. I think that's it. Yeah. But Luffy says that Zoro's second strongest the whole time until Sanji and Frankie came about to become the second and third strongest. But, he actually has a question stronger between Frankie and Sanji, and then Frankie says he has a slight edge and just other abilities. So, yeah, so he has the edge. So Frankie's second strongest, Sanji's pretty close behind him in third. Zoro's fourth. But eventually they kind of stay. They really come out of hiding, and the Supernova is always the Kid, Law, and Luffy's crew just kind of hid in a ship that Luffy disguised. So they didn't even know that. The only people that knew were Bonnie and Beijing, as Luffy's ship was doctored the whole time and didn't move a single inch. So eventually they did return, just question Luffy and how the ship changed color so drastically. They want to question Luffy until he pressed a button and the color suddenly just shifted. And their jaws just drop. Luffy then says the cult is becoming mad scientist for a reason. Suddenly Beijing ended up going to Big Father immediately, demanding the ship to be handed over to him. Luffy just pressed described a cannon, picked it up, put out Beijing, and the cannonball was fired, only for it to hit Beijing and blow a hole completely through him. Beijing immediately shrunk down, holding his chest. There's just a giant burn mark on it now. That's what kind of cannonball was that? I don't know. Some advanced one. That's when Zoro says, "You don't know what's in your own cannonball. Why is it on board?" I don't know. I was drunk making it. And everyone says, you were drunk making the whole ship, weren't you?" I don't know, probably. I honestly don't remember it. And Law is shocked that Luffy is this skilled as like a doctor, as a person, and he doesn't remember building half the shit he has on board. So Law, let me stop touching stuff, but that's when the Shark Crew confirms that everything's safe to touch, except buttons. If there's any buttons, or as you know it, you will destroy. You'll probably destroy Sabaody. This went to the button on top of the mast saying, if you do touch that, you will blow up the whole ship. So this made them all get nervous. So Luffy jumped up, pressing the button, and everyone got nervous till confetti shot out of the cannons, saying, "Gotcha." But Luffy does say, seriously, there's a button on board that does destroy the whole ship. And he jumps back down, and someone's just questioning his sanity about that. And I thought the same Sabaody for a bit, until they actually do find like a whole Luffy doesn't have like the V-Ray card for Ace, but he's able to find a newspaper about Ace not to be executed, and his jaw just immediately drops. He immediately says he's going to impel down. And then he takes off his straw hat and takes off his lab coat, putting them down in his room. The question why he's going to impel down. And Luffy ends up basically grabbing like a small boat, and basically so he tells Kid and Law to come with him. They do, and they kind of ask what's going on until he throws it through the newspaper, saying he has to go. And he tells them all to stay here. But at this point, Luffy does look just like this, just minus the whole apron and his hair is black, and his shirt is red. But yeah, so aside from that, he just sails away. So he just sailing away with on like a speedboat. With Law, ended up using submarine, and Kid actually taking his own like just boat on with Luffy. Killer is with Luffy has Kid and Killer on his boat. Law is taking submarine. His whole crew on it. And where they should tell Straw Hats that he'll go up their ship, and they should head to Fishman Island. And he'll actually give them a note. Or Amazon Lily, specifically, actually. He says Amazon Lily. So he gives Nami the note, they arrive at Amazon Lily, and they're there right after Momonga left. Now, Boa's about to leave. She didn't go with Momonga, but she gets them the letter, and she has to head out here for a few days, and Boa agreed. The women can go and get food if they want, because they're allowed to Amazon Lily, but the men aren't. Well, Chopper's also allowed, but yeah, that's really it. But Boa does have a slight intrigue in Zoro, as Zoro doesn't seem to care about being trended by women. Well, Kobe, Sanji, and Brooke seem ones that are interested. Like, well, Frankie, Chopper, Zoro don't seem to be too interested, but the other men on the ship are pretty much interested or kind of nervous. So they even like bring them to the village, and they're not even phased. Zoro's actually asked about like the weapons they have on board on the island they can buy, but he wasn't interested in any of them. Then Frankie was actually interested in technology. It seemed from the Stone Age, so he wasn't interested at all. Then Chopper just was Chopper and didn't care, but yeah. He was kind of nervous, but he didn't know he has a girlfriend. Every time he thought about the dirty thought, I have a girlfriend, thinking of Kaya. So yeah. So it's not to say they were keeping nothing in control, but still other men were being watched very, very closely. Also, Frankie wasn't allowed in, the fact that he had a Speedo on the whole time, so they thought he was a pervert. But yeah. Everyone else was allowed in, just like the people allowed in the village would be Zoro, Nami, Robin, Chopper. That's really just it, just them. The fact that he doesn't care about anything but swordsmanship and Luffy. Kind of his crew, I guess, but that's really it. But back to Luffy, Kid, Killer, and the Heart Pirates. Luffy eventually had pressed a button on his speedboat, as suddenly he just basically got coated in bubble, and they went right under, and they're a nice lost ship. But Luffy knew how to coat a ship, just didn't have enough time or enough care to actually coat the Sunny that he has. Luffy suddenly used his jet pistol, firing it right into Impel Down at the 6th level. He doesn't know the sort of ace would be held. But she does basically just hit the wall, and he taught Ace Morse code, so he hits the wall a few times. Ace didn't know it, but Jinbei happened to know it. Now Luffy's going all out, but made enough noise only for the cells to hear it. But Jinbei happened to know Morse code and knocked back, and Luffy heard it, and they said Ace is not here, but I'm an ally of him. This made Luffy kind of like skeptical, so the only way he knew to find out who it was is he broke into Impel Down. Like, he surfaced a ship, jumped up in the air, and yelling Gear 4th. Snake Man edition, or Gear 4th Snake Man, and took down all the marine ships around him. Later he stormed into Impel Down, beating up all the guards in his way, with Kid, Law, and Killer, and the whole pirate crew by his side. By the time they make their way down to level 6, they had all the same crew with him, and Botan and Luffy are still pretty good friends. But Luffy being Luffy and very insensitive to everything does make a few quite offensive jokes about Bonchan. But Bonchan doesn't mind due to Luffy not really caring or having any malicious intent behind it. But eventually, it's a level 5.5, and Luffy kept making the same jokes, but no one didn't mind when Luffy doesn't have any harm behind it. But I didn't just see that Luffy is the son of Dragon. Like, this is the son of Dragon, some drunk scientist. But eventually, when it came to Magellan, Luffy went to 5.5 before even fighting Magellan. But he had walked out, seeing Magellan, Hannibal, Sadie, and all the demon guards. Something Luffy and Magellan been fighting. Only thing Magellan was that the poison isn't affecting Luffy at all. Luffy has like a built-in poison immunity. The fact that he poisoned himself so many times. So like he is weakened by it a bit, but it won't kill him at all. It would never kill him. So with this, he's actually able to beat Magellan. So yeah, he beat Magellan. I guess all I can say about it. He beat Magellan. And when it came to Hannibal, Law easily beat him up. Demon guards, Kid and Killer dropped them all by themselves. The other miscellaneous guards, Law's crew, and everyone else took them down. and other escapees. Also, Buggy's in here, and Luffy hasn't seen Buggy since he was like 15. So, yeah, it's been like 2 years since he's seen Buggy. Buggy's shocked to see how big Luffy had gotten in those 2 years, but also how strong he's gotten, and how when he heard Luffy's bounty, he was just amazed. But yeah. Now, Luffy's considered part of the restoration, the fact that he started popping off even more when he got farther in the Grand Line. No one even knew he was in the Grand Line for like a whole year. Like Whiskey Peak was his base for a whole year, but he had under control of Crocodile couldn't contact them, so he thought that he just dropped it. But yeah, that's all I can say about that for a bit. So yeah, with this, eventually they do level 6 where they meet Jinbei. They free everyone that they needed to in canon, and the Luffy says that they should go now. They were not gelling it back up. That's when he kicked right in the face by Luffy, and they leave. By the time they leave, they get to basically just they get all the way down to to Luffy's ship as he brought it to the surface. But he gets questionable by the rest of them. Luffy says, this. Luffy suddenly presses a button, and, well, Luffy says, just wait like 5 minutes. 5 minutes pass, and the whole ship arrives. And enough to fit all of them. They'll get on board, and Star Cruise wondering what the hell came out of their ship. It's just a small disc that expands into a giant ship. Well, it's just a ship big enough to fit people that they need, for Impel Down breakout. So enough to fit roughly around 20 people in it. Pause. Probably more than 20 ball. I'll be short saying 20 people. So with their boat ready, they sail away, all the way over to, Marineford. Here's my phone. Alright. So, with this, we move on, all the way on to just them getting to Marineford. When they arrive, Luffy's like falling from the air because that's the same thing. Luffy has the disc in his hand. Luffy suddenly threw the disc towards Ace, and as Garp started to punch it, just destroy it. Suddenly it turned into a giant ship, and Garp hit right into the ground by it. That whole thing would basically crash right into Ace's stand, and actually breaking one of the seats on chains. Luffy basically ends up grabbing onto Mr. 3, telling him to make a key. He does just that as he throws him towards Ace, and Ace eventually would catch him, and he uses the key to be freed. So when Luffy arrived, Ace was already freed. As they fight their way out of basically all the crowds, until they're confronted by Aki Inu. Only for Luffy's speed bits right in front of him and just not drop him, but being able to actually beat him using science. He does know that fire's hotter than magma, so basically just gave Ace something and Ace drank it. Ace is immediately shocked by this. Then he shot flames at Aki Inu, and his flames began pushing Aki Inu back as his flames had turned blue. Ace asks Luffy what this was, but Luffy says when he's studying his Elf a few years ago, he learned how to basically enhance it. Luffy was like 10, not 10, he was 12. Because Ace and Sabo were both 15. So he learned basically how to forcibly awaken Ace's fruit for a split second, and that awakening had basically forced Aki Inu back, and Aki Inu had to run away. As he never expected that he'd be beaten by this. Ace's awakening had basically used his flames to basically shoot everyone away, and with this, he began running Whitebeard's ship. He basically shrunk the ship down that he threw, and he just turned to the disc again and put it in his pocket. Luffy looked at Whitebeard's ship, saying, "Oh, this may be troublesome." Yes, Whitebeard helped him out of the ice, and Whitebeard did just that. So they lifted Moby Dick out of the ice, and threw it onto basically the other side of the ice, Luffy began separating it with help of Law and Kid. Not Kid, I mean the Killer. So by the time the ice separated, there's enough room to escape. Luffy and Whitebeard pushed Moby Dick back in the water, while Luffy ends up repairing it at the same time, and also giving it a whole new coat of just the bubble. Luffy throwing Ace was syringe, and Ace basically shoved it into his hand with not his hand, but his wrist, not questioning it at all. And then his Dofur awakened even more, not even more, just awakened again, and with all his power, he was able to push something back without Marco even. So with that, Luffy went to Marineford and lasted a whole 10 minutes. The whole 10 minutes, they pushed back the whole Marine force, and they get on the Moby Dick and sail away. Well, the allied crew also got on their boats and they sail away, so, yeah. That's the way. So the ships are overflowing. So Luffy threw like the whole other ship down, got on it, and some people want Luffy get on the boats, and Kid's crew sailed away on his own. After they leave, but Luffy's sailing alongside them. Now, what does with Luffy and how he did that? Luffy says they call him Mad Scientist for a reason. That's not really an answer, but that's what he just says. Luffy says that he's gonna head to Amazon Lily now, and Boa Hancock happened to actually will be with them. She snuck on board, but she asks Luffy if he's like the Trot crew has. Luffy just tells her shut up and don't talk and don't talk to him. The fact he doesn't know her, so shut up and don't talk to him. She used Delphi on him. She used Delphi on him only from just not be fazed by it, calling her weak. Luffy only from kick back even harder, and she went back on her leg. It's obviously swollen up now. But she's amazed by Luffy, and his strength amazes her, and she has a small crush on him now. He's on the boat, saying she's a princess, not a princess, but she's the queen of Amazon Lily, so she'll go with them. And Ace goes with Luffy as well. Eventually they arrive at Amazon Lily, where they see the Trot crew, and they see Rayleigh. So when it came to, them, I guess, we can just go on to them, like, kind of hanging out, so to say. But Mr. Marine, he ended off Luffy, but with how well he ended Marineford by himself, really. It's kind of a whole one-man fight. Luffy kind of ended Marineford by himself. His bounty went up to 960 million because of how fast his strategies changed the whole tide of the war. Luffy turned into a long, like an 8-hour battle into a 10-minute finish. So yeah. So that they leave, and they left from Marineford in 10 minutes. And Garp is on the ground, like his head buried in the ice, questioning what the hell just hit him. And Sangoku eventually woke him up, as Garp didn't know that Luffy had that whole disc thing. Garp says, "What the fuck just hit me?" And Sangoku says, "A giant ship hit you right in the head." Sangoku's just like questioning how Luffy did that. And isn't even questioning reality anymore. But Sabo would have showed up, but he didn't. The fact that Luffy could handle it if he heard about it, and he knows Luffy did. Also, Dragon is questioning why Sabo does think Luffy would handle it till he looks at the news and says, Luffy invades Marineford, invades like Paramount War and ends it. And that's why Sabo knew that Luffy could handle it. So with this, we move on to just after 2 years time happening. Wow, Whitebeard was killed by Luffy, Chopper. Like, just all combined forces of there's such like master doctors on one ship. They're actually able to heal Whitebeard. He's still sick, but now it's not deadly. But it would just kind of weaken him for the rest of his life. So Whitebeard being weakened for the rest of his life, basically it would actually weaken his haki and his observation and everything, and his just devil fruit power. But that's really just it. But Luffy ended up basically examining Whitebeard's fruit and making a copy of it. Shocked everyone. Luffy that's what he's going to do with it, till he just shoved it in his mouth and ate it. And what he's doing, until he displayed the ability to use the Goro no Mi. Saying that his body is too different to actually be killed by this fruit. Well, not by any fruit, actually. His body's just OP. Ace asks if he could eat second fruit, Luffy says, no, that would definitely kill you. Yeah, so for the next 2 years, Luffy ends up training with Rayleigh and Whitebeard. And Marco too, but yeah. After 2 years ends, Luffy had actually awakened this fruit and it's on a master level. So with this, they all head over to by the time 2 years end, and we go on to just Fishman Island being the first arc, but Whitebeard still controls it. Also, it was heard that Luffy killed a lot of members of the original Fishman crew. So when he does arrive, they don't stand a chance against him. Even if they wanted to try something against him, they die in seconds, and they know this, so they wouldn't try it at all. So yeah, Hodee's crew isn't formed at all. So there's no thing called Hodee's crew or whatever it is, or the new Fishman Pirates. But after that, they head on to Punk Hazard, and Luffy wanted to go there just out of sheer interest, and everyone knew he would want to go there. But yeah, I forgot to mention one thing. Ace joined Luffy's crew. Ace joined it. There's no other way. There's nowhere else for Ace to go. But he also wanted to just join Luffy. The fact that what isn't known as a Yonko anymore, but he's still known to have those large territories and crews at his side. All he does is he retired as a pirate, but if anyone wants to challenge him, he'll accept the challenge. So yeah, But Whitebeard and Big Mom, not Whitebeard, Big Mom and Kaido are kind of too nervous to attack Whitebeard. Like they don't know he's weakened at all. All he knows is that he had Luffy on his side, and he ended Marineford in 10 minutes. So yeah. So having someone who can end a whole war with the full brunt of the Marines at his side, they're not gonna risk that chance. But also during this whole 2 years, Kid, Killer, Law, like basically Kid's whole crew, and Law's whole crew were at his side the whole time, plus his own crew. And even if it wasn't like them training with Luffy directly, they're training with Whitebeard's crew or Luffy himself, one of the two. So yeah, by the end of this, Luffy also trained with other Luffys of the different timelines or different universes, so to say. So Luffy's already at like Punk Hazard. He has Ryuo. He has Ryuo. Zoro has advanced observation. Like Luffy can use Shankaki coding. He can use Ryuo. He can use foresight. He's overpowered as all hell by the time Punk Hazard goes around. So Punk Hazard, he actually able to clear it out pretty easily. Notice the kids, he made a cure immediately, and they were put back to normal size. Which Caesar's shocked by this, and Caesar wanted to join Luffy's side so badly because Luffy seemed to be a superior scientist than Vegapunk. So yeah, pause. So Caesar would join Luffy's crew, like begging to join Luffy with how smart Luffy proved to be. And when they try to like kill Caesar immediately, only to be beaten up by Luffy. Luffy does offer her a position on his crew and does offer to do anything she needs. Now, when I just think about this real quick, and it's just Arthur. Me and my sisters are from Doflamingo, referring to Sugar. If you guys didn't know, Sugar was Monet's, I believe, younger sister. But yeah, Luffy agrees to free Monet from Doflamingo. But suddenly, you would see Virgo attack Luffy, like going in for a punch. Frankie would spin around, yelling super punch. He knows Virgo like basically right in the head full of force. And he basically boosted his strength to flames and knocked him out cold. So yeah. After they leave, heading for Dressrosa with Kid and Law's crew by side, with the newest additions being Caesar and Monet. They get to Dressrosa, and Doflamingo can already see the ship. And Luffy already closed to say that Doflamingo's aware that he's here. And Doflamingo's already ready ready for an all-out war. So when he knows the whole Triad crew jumped off the boat, he immediately put up a birdcage, telling everyone on his side to go attack the Triad crew. But Luffy yawning, telling everyone to get through this as fast as possible. And when I think last few days, she realized that Luffy's probably stronger than Doflamingo. She does acknowledge this. Luffy ends up running to the battlefield, in the middle of it, meeting Doflamingo there. Doflamingo will hit Luffy full speed, only to be hit by a Kankatake coding punch and to be knocked out on impact. He's knocked out by that punch, he hits the ground, just his jaw broken. So, with his jaw being broken, and everyone just was Doflamingo's be defeated in one punch, as the birdcage would just be destroyed. Now with this, you see Shabo rushing towards Luffy, yelling, "Luffy, no!" Only for Monet to fly down, pick him up, and drop him in the water, letting him drown. So yeah, he's able to take away oxygen from the people around him, and then be fueling Ace as these two make a power duo, with him being able to fuel Ace's fire and incinerate people. So yeah. Then Brook is showing off his new addition to power, and he appears to be a lot more stronger with him using Haki. But Zoro actually took his place back as number 2 strongest in the crew. So yeah. Sanji was put to number 4, while Frankie would take number 3. So yeah. So Zoro ends up just one-shotting Pika by actually just Pika, he kind of just spun his blade, and for some reason would use Ryuo and basically just cut down Pika, cut him to pieces. So yeah, Pika's cut to pieces, and yeah. So we kind of just ended this arc with the Marines arriving eventually, because Doflamingo, this is Dressrosa's in a war, and Dressrosa happened to be a pretty peaceful island that Doflamingo spotted around. But the arrives in Doflamingo's crew is covered in, is basically full of just whole crew just in sea stone handcuffs. Luffy has a lot of sea stone on board, so just notice how he has it. He just has a lot of it. But yeah, so they arrive single feature in handcuffs. And as they basically like as we try to rush at Luffy, we see the king stepping in the way, telling them all that if they harm the Straw Hats, they'll drop out of reverie. And they talk about everything that the Straw Hats did for them, and they say they can arrest them without being without being left out of reverie for such a strong kingdom. The king explains everything, and they realize that Dolphin needs to be arrested. Both that Luffy did, his bounty go from after Marineford, it was at 960 million. When everyone says that he beat Dolphin in one punch, his bounty went from 960 million all the way up to roughly around 998 billion. 998 million. So his bounty is scratching the surface of 1 billion, very close to doing that. But the next arc is now Zou. So we go on to Zou, and at Zou, well, the Straw Hat crew, they kind of all just go there because the whole Dressrosa arc ended in like 3 hours. But Luffy does basically meet everyone at the same time, and yeah. So when he met everyone, he basically just wanted them to be his allies, as well. He was still worshipped by Bartolomeo for being basically the god of science. So yeah, Luffy just fought all of them in the arena and beat them all down. With this sheer martial arts, not even using hockey, he just his regular skill beat them all down. But when it came to like Don Chinjao, he had to use hockey on him. With when it came to Bartolomeo, he outsped him and beat him up. Yeah, so Don Chinjao was the only one needing hockey, and that was just to repair his head. So yeah. But you see, just conquers hockey coding, telling anyone that they can't compare to this attack, because if they could, they'd be stronger than Doflamingo. But also, there's no Marinomi on like reward. It was just billions and trillions of berries. So yeah, so Luffy has his whole crew set up, and Luffy does announce that he's actually going to be attacking Yonko soon. But they leave one Yonko alone, or 2 Yonko alone. Because why would he still consider Yonko? But also Blackbeard making his move a lot more. He took over a lot of territories, so he's also Yonko, considered the 5th Yonko actually. But Blackbeard does eventually, once Blackbeard is known as the 5th Yonko, Blackbeard announces that he dropped out. Not Blackbeard. Blackbeard announces he dropped out of the Yonko a long time ago after Marineford. Blackbeard is replaced. Whitebeard is replaced by Blackbeard, as he's known as now the 4th Yonko, leaving room for Luffy to become the 5th Yonko still. But yeah. But the thing is, Blackbeard isn't moving on Whitebeard's territory; he's moving on like random innocent islands. But also the king of the pirate island. Yeah, so one major difference that I kind of leaving out currently. Luffy still has Whitebeard's Devil Fruit. He just doesn't use it because there's no need for him to use it. He hasn't found an opponent worthy of the Guranomi. So he can use it freely, and even has it awakened at this point. Not the Guranomi, the Gomanomi, or the human Nomi, or Hito Nomi model sun god Nika. Say Nika slowly if you're nervous, but yeah. So the next arc, Zou, they arrive there, but this time it's the whole Straw Hat Alliance. But Luffy had coded the ship, so they all had they're below water. But also a gravity device to have them stay with the Straw Hat ship. Also, they have Kinemon, Momonosuke, and Kanjo now, but Luffy does show Kinemon. Kanjo has ill intent at this point, and he just bring out that Doflamingo may have bought him out. So it says make Kinemon nervous, but Luffy had never lied to him yet. So, yeah. So with this, as they're kind of just... Wait, pause. Yeah, the crew bounty. I didn't go over that. But they get to Zou, plus the whole Straw Hat crew alliance with the Heart Pirates, the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, and then the... what was it? Yeah, the Kid Pirates, whatever they're called. But the new bounties. Luffy, 998 million. Zoro, 415 million. Kobe, 300 million now. Sanji, 413 million, barely below Zoro. Nami, 110 million. Robin, 200 million. Usopp, 290 million. Chopper, 5.5 thousand. Bit more respect. Frankie, 210 million. Brook, 90 million. Ace, 800 million. Then Caesar, 400 million. Monet, 90 million. Sugar joined, 30 million. That's the whole Straw Hat crew currently. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 people. Yeah, they have enough room for roughly around 1 or 2 more. Yeah. So with this, we move on to just, they all done. So, it kind of goes pretty similar until I'd honestly say this goes pretty similar, just, well, this time when Beijing arrives, he goes to find Sanji. Then sees Luffy with him, and immediately says, nope, not doing it. It's really a question why only from Luffy's like the only person to beat Big Father who isn't Big Mom. So yeah, when they hear that, they immediately just retreat. But then it came to Jack. Jack still gets defeated pretty easily. But yeah, so during this time, they're taking a trip all the way over to to Whole Cake Island, but also to Wano. So I'm gonna split the crew up. That's gonna go to Wano. All right, so they leave Zoe and the crews that went to Wano and Whole Cake Island. So Kid's crew, they had Whole Cake Island with Luffy. So Kid, Killer, Heat, and Wire. Kid, Killer, Heat, and Wire. Whole Cake Island. Then we would have. So I'm gonna go over the rest of the crew. Just wanted to say that Lost whole crew, Wano, Kid's whole crew, Whole Cake Island. Then Luffy, Whole Cake Island, Nami, Whole Cake Island, Zoro, Wano, Kobe, Whole Cake Island, Sanji, Whole Cake Island, Robin, Wano, Usopp, Wano, Chopper, Whole Cake Island, Frankie, Wano, Brook, Whole Cake Island, Ace, Wano, Caesar, Wano, Monet, Wano, Sugar, Whole Cake Island, Kanjuro, Wano, Kinemon, Wano, Momonosuke, Wano, Carrot, Whole Cake Island, Peckham's, Whole Cake Island, Pedro, Whole Cake Island. So Sanji would head to Whole Cake Island and go in and meet the family. And as soon as they start trash talking him, he says in the next few years he found out he was a cyborg, which shocks them all. I think he's nothing until he just plays his whole flaming leg. And this isn't enough proof for them, so he just shut off lightning and everything else too. Electricity and fire, wind, anything they want, he shows it off. Then the judge immediately tries to control Sanji, only for it to not work. Plans Sanji off his invisibility technique and begin beating up his whole family. Then bring Judge to his knees. Well, he leaves Reiju alone, but tells them all that he's above them all in every single way, and they cannot control him or bully him any longer. That actually does make Judge feel stupid, and he has Sanji who helped him discover this, and just to make Judge upset, he says Caesar, knowing it was Luffy. This does piss off Judge a lot, thinking Caesar's above him in intelligence now. But yeah. But with this, the whole Straw Hat crew, that's in Wano, would basically just begin. Well, they begin grabbing there's a lot of it would go pretty similar. Just Sanji wouldn't beat up Luffy or try to at all, actually. We would go on to Luffy, who fights against Cracker. This fight's more or less. It'd be Luffy, Nami, and Sugar. Luffy, Nami, and Killer versus Cracker and the guys. But even Heat would join in, burning some of the crackers, and that doesn't make them harder to crack, but also does make it harder for them to move. Actually, does allow Luffy to use his more heavy attacks and bring them down. Which these gear started would just be the all-out attack because Koda and Ryuo and destroy just all the crackers, leaving out the real one. And Killer would jump forth, cutting off one of Cracker's arms and then stabbing him through the stomach, while Nami ends up using Thunder Tempo on him, electrocuting him, and accidentally electrocuting Killer too. So yeah. But eventually, Big Mom's all their children except for Katakuri would arrive, only for Luffy to beat them all down by himself with no help. But he does the other half of the crowd, does he ever beat up half of them, seeing Kid beat up the rest of them, as Luffy didn't even know he was there. But yeah, Kid helped Luffy beat up all Big Mom's kids. But eventually, when all the kids are beaten up, even her soldiers were, Katakuri, Katakuri, I'm pretty sure it is Brule. Katakuri, Brule, and Big Mom arrive, and Luffy says he'll fight against Big Mom by himself. He actually asks Kid to handle Katakuri, and Kid agrees. Well, Kid is ready against Katakuri, while Luffy and Sanji face down against Big Mom, and everyone else would face. Everyone else facing against Big Mom, so to say, Well, Kid is the only one fighting against Katakuri. So yeah. So given the Kid versus Katakuri, well, before they went into the mirror dimension, he probably basically uses Delphin all the weapons, and they're all now in the mirror dimension. So Kid has a lot of things at his disposal, and Kid's about as strong as canonical Luffy is in this arc. So with this, that fight kind of goes the same as Luffy versus Katakuri went as in canon, and less just about as long too. Well, this one, Luffy beat Big Mom. He beat her. Well, the thing is, he knew Morgans was watching and fell too, so it made it look like a draw, even though he was barely even tired of how much help he had. Also, Conqueror's like coding she didn't expect him to have, and he broke her sword and almost knocked her out. But he made it seem like he fell first, and Big Mom fell last, so Morgans called it as Big Mom's win. But still, she's beaten up pretty badly to the point where she'd pass out. Luffy's bounties increased to be, well, Luffy's bounty would increase. I'm going to say 2.4 billion. That's Luffy's new bounty. Yeah, but every single one of Big Mom's forces defeated, well, one, Luffy developed a bomb for Pedro to the point where it only affects humans, leaving Pedro alone. So the guy Pedro wanted to kill, the whole Topago guy, Pedro killed him pretty easily. Well, Pedro wasn't affected at all, just has a few burns. They all escape, and the same day they arrived. So, yeah. Now they leave, and, well, they leave after Luffy knows some Morgans left first, but, yeah. By the time they're gone, well, Kid is pulled out of the mirror dimension, and says it's probably the hardest fight of his life. Oh, Kid isn't missing an arm. I thought I'd clarify that. He's not missing an arm. But, yeah. So with this, they arrive all the way on to, to Luffy's ship, and they set sail all the way to Wano now. They arrive in Wano, and they meet Tama. When they meet Tama, they actually end up meeting, well, Ace there. Ace carrying Tama around, and Luffy ends up seeing a few people with Ace. He's Marco and Mas Deuce. Yeah, yes, what those two are doing in Wano. And he hasn't seen Mas Deuce since he was like 12, so, yeah. Also, if you guys like caught up on the flashback for Wano for Ace, I was hoping to see Mas Deuce in the anime. Honestly, I don't know why, but I was gleeful to see him in the anime. I don't know why, but I was. And this was look like animated instead of just like in manga panels. But yeah, just wanted to get that out maybe real quick. He sees Marco and Mas Deuce and talks to them for a bit, as he hasn't seen them both. Mainly Mas Deuce for a while. He saw Marco like 4 months ago. So, yeah. So yeah, we just move on to eventually like them Luffy versus Hold'em would be one of the major fights, but before the fight between Luffy and Hold'em even start, it's Ace versus Hold'em, and Ace basically just melts him down. But we just go on to the fights going on until Luffy versus Kaido for the first match. And that's when this fight starts. Kaido isn't weakened at all, he's not holding up Wano. But we have a much stronger Luffy fighting against him as well. This fight goes on in the middle of basically Flower Capital. Luffy, that fight is it's like a fight between equals at this point. Luffy even broke out his awakening. He had it under control a bit, but when he broke out his awakening, that fight began to become a one-sided slaughter. But when the fight ended, but everyone was just amazed at Luffy's power, and, well, everyone sees Kaido finally fall and be defeated. But the thing is they took every ounce of power in Luffy's body to the point where he just passed out. So for Luffy for the first time, didn't feel defeat. He felt the thing, I guess not the thing, but felt the symptoms of finding an equal, which felt weird to him. This whole time in his life, he's never felt someone stronger than him that he actually had to fight seriously. When it came to Luffy's, they went easy on him. They made sure that fight him at his exact level, but they never beat him unconscious. While Luffy fought Kaido to a standstill, and, well, Luffy was lost on standing until he just passed out. Luffy officially beaten Kaido in the middle of Flower Capital. And the Little Straw Hat crew had been, well, Zoro was there, because the fight began getting on a one-sided brawl against Luffy, or not against Luffy, but one-sided brawl against Kaido, where Kaido was losing. Well, King and Queen arrived, and Sanji fought Queen only to beat him. He beat Queen almost to death. Caesar also supposed to be poisoning Queen throughout the fight, so Queen couldn't get stronger. Also, Chopper, Marco, Mas Deuce, and, well, Chopper, Law, Mas Deuce, Marco, and Caesar combined made a cure for the town. So they treated the symptoms with the fruit. temporarily. But they waited for Luffy to arrive to actually cure them, and he cured them pretty easily. Like, when they ate a smile fruit, he cured them. Like, well, an effective smile fruit, he cured them. But, yeah. But when it came to, like, actually, no, he kind of cured any smile fruit, came across. Hold'em lost his fruit. A lot of them lost their fruits. But came to Speed, he let her keep her fruit, because he did. So, yeah. But, yeah, so Queen was almost killed by Sanji and Caesar combined, but Caesar didn't, like, no one knew what Caesar was doing, because Caesar just, like, leaked like, gases into like Queen's lungs and poisoned him throughout the fight. While Zoro was already using Ryuo, and when it came to him, when his sheer skill, he actually proved to be equal to King, but then he ended up getting Enma throughout the fight as he was thrown at him and he caught it. When he caught Enma, he immediately just used like that one slash and actually cut King's blade in half and cut King across the face. But King landed in one eye and he wasn't really able to keep up the rest of his power. He was defeated by Zoro, but Zoro hasn't used Enma that much, so kind of just it was kind of like a draw, not Zoro winning. It was just a draw. Well, Sanji's fight was like a one-sided slaughter, so yeah. But the thing is, everyone thinks Queen is stronger than King, so it led to Zoro getting more credit than Sanji. Which I am on the side that King is stronger than Queen, so yeah. Kaido's beaten, and so is Luffy, and yeah. Luffy's first will wake up. As he would ready to drag Kaido and all of them onto one giant boat, kicking them out to sea. Luffy ends up meeting Yamato later on, and he tells Yamato that Onigashima is now under his control. Which is a shocker, and a question about Kaido, so he points out to a giant boat out at sea, saying that's Kaido's ship. Then he had grabbed her like cuffs and tore them off. Then if you're curious about Toby Roppo, it was the same fights as in canon, same exact fights, same ones, no differences. So yeah, Jinbei did get to Wano, but got there a bit earlier due to the fact that Jinbei didn't need to do anything for this riot crew. Like his whole crew was in Wano. Jinbei beat Husu pretty easily, honestly. But yeah, so with this, we should move on to the next arc, and this one, I'm trying to finish what if as fast as possible, honestly. Luffy's next arc wouldn't even be Elbaf. He just wants to end the Emperor's era. He wants to end them immediately, and effectively, and that concludes the next arc, being the Blackbeard hunting arc, which Ace is pretty keen on that, honestly. Because Ace kept up his info on trying to track him, and Marco and Masseuse are going to stay with him. Meanwhile, with Whitebeard, he happened to intervene on an island that Weevil was attacking and actually killed a Weevil himself. So Weevil's dead. The downside is the Marines are surrounding him now. So yeah. So Luffy ended up finding like the pirate island with help of Ace and everyone else. But now it's Luffy's whole like just army, like the Starlight Grand Fleet and everything. Is they're giving info on like where it was. So Luffy found it with their help. When he arrived, Moria is now working on the side of Blackbeard. And he says he wants revenge for the bark. But Luffy doesn't even know who he is. He didn't see Moria in person. Just shot cannons into the bark and sank it. That's really all he did. He doesn't know Lola or anything. He just sank the island. As Moria ends up yelling for zombies to attack, suddenly Luffy would end up basically just saying, he's like grabbing on the air and pulling it. Shocks everyone until Blackbeard remembers. Not remember, did you just know Luffy had the Goro no Mi? With the air being pulled, the whole string is created where all Blackbeard's crews pulled, and not crew, the zombies are pulled in the air. But then Ace ended up basically shooting fire upon them, basically incinerating all the bodies. Where Marco would fly down, kicking Moria in the face full force, and then knocking him out. Now it leads to Marco versus Blackbeard, and but Luffy eventually would have just he fights Marco and Blackbeard fight on par with each other. So yeah. So as they fight on par with each other, well, eventually Luffy tells Ace that Ace can have the win, and Ace kills Blackbeard. And coincidentally via stabbing. So Ace is killed, Blackbeard is killed, and Luffy defeats the rest of the crew alongside the Starlight Grand Fleet, who takes over Pirate Island. As they're to leave, Luffy then says, "Sink it." So as they're leaving, they fire off cannons from every ship that's around them, and the island is sank. Luffy says he's paying visits to Shanks now, and as he pays visits to Shanks, let's basically just tell Shanks to quit being a Yonko. This confused Shanks, so he looks at the recent news where Luffy had beaten Big Mom on Hoki Island, he beat Kaido and Wano, now he beat Blackbeard. This doesn't make Shanks just chuckle at Luffy's power, as Luffy was going to do next. That's when Luffy says he's gonna destroy the Red Line. He's gonna destroy it completely. Now he doesn't actually ask Luffy how he's gonna do this, but Luffy says his Grand Fleet has been gone for roughly around 2-3 months. They should be all over the world. A few of them are currently in the South and East Blue. A few of them are on the North and West Blue. Being the Germa is the one in the North Blue. So with their help, they're able to plant tons of the bombs that Luffy had made with help of Caesar and Judge, and Frankie, I guess. And these bombs, plus Caesar, they're enough to actually destroy the Red Line. With the Red Line being destroyed now, well, there's really no need for Emos. Emo, even if Emo's a Delphi user, she's there, I guess, is going to drop in the water and drown. So Sabo didn't really play a big part in the story. The fact that Sabo wouldn't be at Reverie just yet, because Reverie isn't, like, if he was captured at Reverie, he'd probably find some way to escape with how strong he is in this story. So he's either not captured and leaves with Kuma, or he escapes with his crew without Kuma. Either way, he's not captured and leaves with Kuma, or he is captured but escapes with his crew and not Kuma. Either way, the Red Line is dropped to the ground. And it's after Reverie, and I'm going the safe option. It's only Celestial Dragons up there and slaves. Well, no, not with slaves, because after Reverie, taking the safe route, Sabo escaped with Kuma, which means all the slaves are freed. So there's only Celestial Dragons up there, and the Celestial Dragons are brought down because of the Red Line being destroyed. And then Emo being a possible Delphi user, dropped in the water and dies. So yeah, Emo just drowns. There's no epic battle. Came to the Marines with their officers or enforcers being destroyed. Now it comes down to Dragon, actually, which decided to take over the rest of the battle, with Sabo saying they should do that, as they bring war to the new Marine Ford, which is kind of in shambles right now. But the relationship being taking over every single Marine base. Every time that's over, Sabo would end up confronting Garp. And she told Garp just surrender being a Marine, and Garp agreed to that. But with this, there's no more to go over. The Stars found Laugh Tale. They already kind of knew where it was because of Rayleigh, but they kind of asked once they read the Poneglyphs. They called him and they asked, so didn't really take too much. Yeah, so they find Laugh Tale. As they find Laugh Tale, they kind of get the One Piece. The One Piece can be anything you want it to be. Honestly, I don't really care. But all we know is it has everything, so that everything is what Luffy got. Now that kind of ends this, and Luffy is now the strongest Luffy there is. Now with this, Luffy does end up kind of losing the bet. The fact that, she probably wouldn't. He did a lot of things with a lot of women in Alabasta, like with most women in Alabasta, including Vivi. And then, he was also at Fishman Island where Shirahoshi was there, and he kind of pleased her. Because he also was at Amazon Lily for a lot of time, and they kind of liked him still, and he did his whole thing. But Luffy has most women in Alabasta, Shirahoshi, and all the girls in Amazon Lily. If Luffy doesn't have more bodies than the Shanks Luffy, then you guys are dumb, because he only had 3 or 4. So this Luffy is kind of the Chad of all Chads. 2 whole islands, or 2 whole countries, one country and an island, and then 1 giant princess. It's kind of Luffy's record. So yeah, with this, we just kind of end the What If. If you guys enjoyed, like and subscribe for another What If. Adios.